Good evening, good evening, good evening. We are live. It's Saturday night. It's time for Modern Comic Mayhem. We got another awesome show for you tonight. We're going to have comic reviews, 5 worst comics, covers that we have. Corbin's back. We've got the starting lineup. It's the starting lineup for tonight is back by popular demand. We've got number 1, Corbin Ford.
Boop, 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 boop. Nope. So I got. What's up, y'all?
We have the man, the myth, the legend, the man behind the scenes and the man in front of the scenes. We've got Matt.
Okay, cool.
And last but not least,
and in front,
we have the guy who knows nothing about Star Wars, but yet it seems to be on a Star Wars show, Mr. Solo Wookie. How's everybody doing tonight?
Bonin. Dope. It's Saturday night, right?
Saturday night.
We feeling all right?
Let's cue the music, Matt. Hey, everybody.
Ooh, baby.
We're back. So remember, everybody, we got some really cool, we got the drinking game. So if you guys already got your drinks or smoke or whatever you like to partake in while you watch this show, scan the QR code that Matt's going to put up. And we've got some pretty cool words on there. Like I said, like we always say, I'm the only one that knows the words. Me and you guys, the Solo and Matt and Corbin don't know. So maybe we're making fun of them. Maybe we aren't.
It could be goldfish. You never know.
But time to get into things. I think we've got some pretty interesting news topics to start out our first segment with. So, Matt, why don't you get us rolling on our first segment?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and kick it off a little bit with talking Marvel is going to replace copies of Immortal Hulk 43 because apparently they're offensive.
Anti-Semitic, I believe.
Yes, very used. And I'm trying to see what they're going for right now because I know that issue would just like skyrocketed and people were starting to look for it now because it's going to be pulled.
Yeah, they did recall it, but as we all know, nobody.
Are you talking about because of the word in the background in the jewelry store? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Let me.
David on
I guess I can pull it up for context here.
Wow, what a great idea!
I know.
Context? It's amazing. I'm playing.
I like sometimes being in Matt's head is just like, I just don't know. I couldn't even imagine.
Stay out of my head. Nobody makes it through in my head.
I figure it's like a beautiful
Charles.
mind. It's just the craziness that's going on inside of it.
Definitely not like a beautiful mind. That's for sure.
I should probably go get glasses. I'm definitely not going to get context for my eyes. I never liked the context.
So within this, we've got. I don't understand why everybody's making. So they missed an L. So that's what's going on in it, right?
Yeah, you need that L. It makes the word.
But her head is blocking it.
That inside joke for anti-Semitic, like no, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
Fake
what
outrage
is
right here.
this? The outrage, and I know the artist came on and said it was hard for him to be writing, he had to draw those letters backwards.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
because it's a jewelry store, and in the back of it says Jew, and then there's the Star of David there. So it's
but it's all kind of. I thought it was because it was missing an L.
I
didn't. Matt just took it in a different direction, I think.
Well, because you can see it right here, and then the Star of David, like it clearly says Jew right here, and I can see where it could be anti-Semitic, and that it's also a little bit, I don't know. He's hitting on her and being kind of a scumbag. But
if you were walking down the street,
but him hitting on her, what does that have to do with the jewelry store thing?
Nothing. It's just him being a scumbag.
The jewelry and him being kind of it appropriates or it helps to bring about certain misconceptions, stereotypes, whatever. It's like subliminal, like, oh yeah, black person, like you just put things together. I think is why people are. I'm going inside the head of anyone who may be offended here, but I'm like, if I wanted to be offended by said picture, I'm looking at this going, oh, are you trying to say that I can't have my hair slicked down in a jewelry store because I'm a Jew and I like. Maybe it might be a reach. Listen, I'm just.
Let's be careful.
I'm trying.
But that's not what the whole problem with it is, though.
No, I know. That was an example, albeit a poor one. But
say somebody who hasn't read the internet in the last few days, say they don't know what we're talking about. Bring that back up, Matt, and actually explain what we're talking about.
Well, I mean, if you were let's say you're walking downtown and you're going ring shopping or whatever, and you saw that on a window. Would you be offended, or will you be? I mean, me personally, I'd be like, hey, that's kind of clever. That's kind of, if the store owner was Jewish and just wanted to, put a slogan out there, I don't know that I'd be offended so much as in shock and awe that they did something so clever, and I would probably go in and shop there. Now, I'm, albeit very hard to offend, so.
Yeah, but I don't understand why the word jewelry on there. Why is everybody focusing on this?
Because the word Jew is an anti-Semitic term.
Yeah, but it's in the word.
Yes, but
that's why it's important to have the entire word. Yeah, because
I thought it was because it was missing the L.
I think if you saw jewelry all together like that, then. But it clearly says Jew with the Star of David on there, and that's an anti-Semitic term, and it pissed a lot of people off.
It's 2021. That's another thing. So
when did the word Jew become anti-Semitic and mean and downright nasty? Like I guess call each other Jew or Jewish or Jew. I hear it.
That's going down a path.
That's going down a path we don't need to go down.
That's going down a path. I know what you're trying to say, but I know exactly where you're going. It's going down the same like, oh, well, because I can't let people call me this word. It's a totally different conversation. But I see what you're saying. But yeah, like you said, Chad, you're easy. You're hard to offend, and there's many others. That's the complete opposite. And those people have spoken, and that is why this is news.
So I don't think it's.
Yeah, we're not going to.
I almost thought that the powers that be were popping in to yell at us, but it's just somebody else. It's all good.
Either way, though, it spiked the price of the book for a quick, brief minute. So, I mean, that's a good thing, right? Because as we all know, they do a recall and they're like, "Hey, send them back," and nobody sends them back by this point. They're like, "Hey, let's sell these because now they're worth more." So. Great for the comic book market, right?
Let's see. It's instead of the window sign reading.
Yeah, hey guys,
jewelry, it reads jewelry.
Yeah, it says jewelry. Yes. You can't. Look, if you don't understand why not putting the Star of David and having a store that says jewelry on it, like how that's anti-Semitic, like. We can take it off air and I can explain that to you. You just can't do that, dude. Like, yeah, okay, it's a misprint. I get it, just not a good one, right? So they're going to take it off air. And yeah, the book's going to catch fire because of that. I mean, you can't look, it's 2021. You can't have
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, you can't, like Corbin was saying, you can't do that, man. Like there's no
What's up, Marco?
Oh man, I'm trying to kick this it's only a cold. Like I got the test, I'm not dying. I can't see straight, but then I normally can't anyways. My voice is a little off. But I'm still coming out here because, just to help y'all out. I heard you had somebody from Star Wars. You're dogging my co-pilot saying that you got him off. You already got him off his tilt because you're telling me you didn't know anything about Star Wars.
Listen, you're talking about that. I've dealt with some DC slander the last couple of weeks.
Joe Burnett, the guy who drew it, is just saying it's just he forgot the L.
Yeah.
And it was an honest mistake. He was drawing backwards.
Yeah.
And it's just something that he missed.
Right.
It's something that he missed, and it's something that the editors of Marvel missed.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I believe that 100%. Like, it's an accident.
Because how many eyes are look at this book and review it before they're like, all right, go ahead. And
especially in this.
Hey, really?
But
really?
Especially in this day and
age.
age.
Trash.
That's what I was like. The picture, though, you can't see the L anyway. That's why I don't even understand. Like, if you pull the picture back up, you can't even see that there'd be an L there. Well, we should be keeping it up because we're still talking about it.
Can I just say this real quickly? Yeah, can I just say this real quickly? If the guy says it's an accident, right? And he doesn't have a history of doing this. If he's not drawing little mustaches on people's faces and calling his Bible book like My Struggle, which is taken off of my cat. Let's just believe the guy and say like, hey, it was an accident, and pull the books and move on.
I believe.
I'm
him.
more offended that I the way he made his J, it looks more like a V. It looks like Ver. I'm more pissed about that.
Yeah, I know, but look. You have to understand that people are going to be upset about this. You can't like. There's no doubt.
Juver,
Yeah,
Juver
exactly.
really,
Yeah.
it really gets your going, huh, Kyle?
Yeah.
I only see 3 letters. In all actuality, I only see 3 clear letters.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, as a
Sure. Yeah.
Point being,
as an editor, if I was reading it, the star would have caught my eye. I don't know that the letters would have, or that I would have really counted or anything like that. So I could see how perusing you go through so many books trying to edit and look for stuff. I could see how it could get missed, unfortunately, and it is unfortunate all the way around. I believe the guy that it wasn't intentional, but.
Yeah, either way, it's still done. You got to get rid of it. That's cool. Will it bite? Yeah, people like to collect that stuff. People like to collect anything that has anything to do with, I mean, it just is. People like to collect.
I'm still more pissed. There's not yellow flowers on the top panel over here, and he's got them on the bottom. I mean, I'm more mad about that.
I understand this might not affect you. No, I understand this might not affect you in your life, but it still does affect a lot of people. So, like that being said, yeah, I mean that being said, yeah. I mean, like, hey, look, let's not fire anybody over this. Nobody should be fired over this. But yeah, they should take the book out and say, like, hey, it was wrong, it was a mistake. They admitted to it. So cool, man. I get it. And yes, will this drive up the price for this book? Of course it will, because anything will drive up the price. Dude, people could say this character, this girl is going to maybe make it into the TV show sometime, even if that wasn't a mess up and this book price would spike. I mean, you can say whatever. You just go put it on eBay and put fire signs next to it, say hot. A key, a clown, an HTF, or whatever they do. The book it's going to sell. So is this thing going to be good? Is it going to be hot? Yeah, sure. It's going to be hot, dude. That's what's going to happen with it. 100%. 100%.
Yep. Yeah, I kind of get what Matt's saying, though, especially in this day and age where everything, I mean, we already know the state of the world as it is right now. Like, and it's kind of a weird mix between Matt and what Solo's saying. Like, if you look in all these books, of course you're going to miss it. It looks innocuous if you're just glancing through the pages. At the same time, if your job is to thoroughly glance through the pages and you miss it and several other eyes miss it, and it becomes a mistake that at least is newsworthy, I'm not saying, again, I'm with Marco. Like,
you need to thoroughly glance better.
Exactly. Like, do your job better. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, it's not a heads will roll situation. And it is an accident, but it's a notable accident that shouldn't happen again. It shouldn't happen in the first place if you're doing your job.
How many
right.
books actually made it into the wild? Did they say that?
Well, I think everything that came out on Wednesday.
Everything that came out, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
So
yeah, you get a check. I mean, you get your check. But I mean, you can get 3. We don't have to throw everybody out. There's 3 strike rules, man. It's cool.
No,
how many covers of Little Mermaid are there with that big dong on it? Editors miss stuff all the time.
Yes, it is.
There's one with the dong?
you piqued Corbin's interest now.
Well, no, I just
penis?
I'm not no, the Corbin train is not interested in backing up that train stop, but I am curious as to how editors
you don't want that in your caboose, huh?
Nope. We chugging right along on that one.
Hey, there's the famous C3PO boner card. I mean, the C3PO's got a metal boner just sticking out the whole.
Yeah. Well, this is again.
There's an editor that still lets Lakefield. Look at Matt's background. There's an editor that lets that dude put that trash out, and he's put out some interesting trash before. So
he has. Right. I guess this is where again that big word of this is 2021, this day and age is. Whoa, John. No,
you got to. I think Corbin, you have to answer the hard-hitting questions.
Hey, John, I am not. Whoa. In what context are you referring to? I respect all. I don't see.
He expects all dongs.
There you go. Or wait, I don't. Let's just move on. John, no comment. All right, sir. No comment.
All dongs are created equal in Corbin's eyes.
They're not.
Even C3PO.
We've all seen porn. They're not created equal.
All I know, if I know anything, is that representation matters. Okay, representation matters.
No, sir, that is an incorrect statement.
No, John, I didn't say that. John, what I said.
All right. Well, let's stop pushing comments up there about how Corbin loves dongs and or misses dongs or whatever.
So,
with
yeah.
dogs.
Thank you, I miss you, Marco.
Yeah, I miss you too, brother.
It looks like Batman writer James Tynion the Fourth is ready to start this goddamn hype train all over again, as with Batman 106, the first issue released under the Infinite Frontier banner. We're getting another new female character introduced to Gotham, and it's going to be Mighty Molly is her name, or Miracle Molly. Sorry, Miracle Molly.
Mighty Molly. I think back at the rave days, I ran into some Mighty Molly.
Yeah. Miracle Molly, and we get our first pictures from the panels in the 106 where she's going to make her appearance.
He definitely has a type.
Wow.
Yes, he does. She's going to be part of a new game, or new gang coming in Gotham. New gang,
A new
gang in Gotham called the Unsanity Collective, and they're going to be huge players in 2020 and 2021.
Unsanity Collective.
We're going back to the future on that one. Yeah,
She looks
not Insanity Collective like that.
Nope.
I mean,
Unsanity Collective.
wow. Okay. All right.
So yeah, get ready for that hype train to go again.
I don't think that's going to get as big as Punchline.
I mean,
Well, nobody has anything to go after. Absolutely will.
New characters just get everyone's hair raised.
So her first appearance is going to be 106, and then she's going to be on the cover of 108.
Yay!
There you go.
So
Whenever
see for Batman 106 comes about, order that bad boy up, huh?
I'm still sitting on those worthless Punchline books, man. No
Yeah.
thanks. I think I'll miss this one.
Thank you. I'm with Solo on this. We just saw this happen. We just saw this not even 6 months ago. I'm good.
Although
I'm
I
good.
do really admire her 80s neon. I gotta say, that's tight. I do
I
like
actually
it.
kind of like it. At first, I was like, "What is this?" But now, I mean, I'm not going to read this garbage. But
Whoa. Hey, Marco, you gotta try it before you say that, though. It's
hey, you
bad.
think it's good? Hey, you want to put a bet that this is going to be good? You want to put a bet that this is going to be good?
Okay. What
Do it.
People
Let me
around
I'm
here
down.
don't follow through on bets. So
I'm with you. Listen. I
Well,
haven't
Well,
made
this
a
show
bet.
does. This show does.
I haven't made a bet, Matt. I haven't made one. I think you're the last
Let's
one I know.
make the bet.
Yeah. What kind of bet we talking? I'm a man of my word here, Marco.
Dude,
What do
you
you
know what
want?
happens when
Within
you make
reason.
a bet, Corbin? You end up body painted like the Penguin for an entire episode. Don't.
Oh, I do
Don't do
remember
it.
you. Yeah, that's true.
Don't do
Well,
it.
what would I have to do? Like, I'd be
Okay,
intrigued. Let's
here
talk
we
about this
go.
later, Marco.
I
I'm down
tried
for
to
We'll make a
save
bet.
you. You're good.
it. I'm down for
We'll
this.
make
Okay.
it. We'll make it so that everybody can see it too. So, like, if like you make a bet and then all of a sudden you welch on it, like everybody knows there's a bet, so that
You
everybody
know
can call
what
you
we'll do?
Welcher.
What we'll do? We'll make it off the show. We'll come back next show with the bet parameters.
Right,
There
yeah.
it is. All right. Does she have stubble on her forearms? Yeah, I kind of think so. Maybe it's some weird
No, it's
tattoo.
tattoos. It's
Okay, no, there you go. It looked like it from the distance I'm at. Wow.
Mr. Brian,
do know, yeah, worthless price.
Yeah.
Yeah, do know you guys just complained about Punchline, and then when I said, yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna read this book, Corbin defends it saying like, oh, you haven't read it yet, it's gonna be amazing. just because like I'm not gonna fall into this trap. Okay, I'll make a bet. Like it's not gonna be a good bet, bro.
Listen,
I mean, whatever it is.
I'm a company man. All right, I gotta defend the line.
Hey, you know what? Unfortunately, since you've been gone, I don't know if you've been watching the show. I mean, you've been watching
Yes, I
some
have.
of it, but
Yeah.
we've been praising some of the stuff they've been doing.
I have.
out there.
I've been impressed with you guys. Have been. Yeah, it's been great. Yeah.
I mean, it's
and
like
it's true. It's kind of rebounded a little bit.
it's like 30% good,
Are you
70%
talking about Future
garbage.
State
But
or the show?
Yeah. No, the
Both.
show.
a little bit of A and a little bit of B. It's a mixture, a little bit of both.
I've heard the future state comments. I was going to comment more, but I'm like, I don't feel right commenting when I'm not on. So let me just dial it back. Ooh.
Marco's
Feel
gonna
it.
die.
Hey,
I'll be all right.
he's giving his all for the show here.
Witness
I'm
the death
good.
Dude,
live.
hey,
Is
if he
that the
dies
canvas
live on
top?
the show.
I'll put some bourbon on. I'll be all right.
Dies live on the show.
I was gonna say,
Oh.
Kyle could probably tell you something that'll clear that up for you real quick.
You're supposed to say cannabis.
Little
cock.
I don't know.
bourbon or
That Corbin's anti-dong. I don't know. What do you want to
Hey.
no, a little bit of bourbon, a little bit of whiskey.
Oh,
You
I-
got a little something for him.
So
What
what?
that fake news came
What
from.
else? What else we got besides 90s? by the
So we're
Bell,
gonna
DC.
stick. Let me get this off the screen here. We're gonna stick with Infinite Frontier and going that Black Adam and Shazam are gonna get slammed together. Adam slamming together, you know that old joint, and become Shazam. And I wish that was a joke, but it's not a joke.
Oh, that's terrible.
Shazam.
all right. We'll just keep moving on. Let's. It's not
there's-
even really worth
honestly,
talking
there's
about.
Nothing,
It's terrible.
there's-
It's
Yeah,
stupid.
Shazam.
I don't know why we even put that on the outline. It's horrible.
I mean, I get it because it's news, and like if one of us had a crazy reaction, but I think we can unanimously agree that it's kind of stupid. And like, I want to be a fly in the room when they went, you know, it'd be a great name, Shazam, or whatever the fuck that was. Sorry, excuse my French. Like, that's something like my 6-year-old brother would tell me, and I would like push him off and be like, dude, don't be stupid. And then they like ran with that. Like, that's all I got. You're right. Let's keep moving, Kyle. You said
Don't be stupid.
But the problem with it too is like, who does DC write for? Like, I don't see the books.
People like you.
No, but the books that the people that you see, like, I don't buy that stuff for my kids. Like, I wouldn't let them read the regular DC titles.
Is that true, Patrick?
They usually
Has anyone checked on The Rock?
they usually write it for like adults like us. So why would you give a 6-year-old kid idea? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that might pass. Like, that's okay for young kids or something like that. But you're right. Like,
Patrick called us out on our bullshit.
What is it?
Said a random bystander called us that in one panel. It's not changing. Stop listening to bleeding cool people.
All right, there you go.
I mean,
Thank you, Patrick.
I was listening to you guys. That's
It's. I do.
It's good thing we got Patrick as a monitor. He doesn't just monitor the chat; he monitors us.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I was listening to cool. It was
obviously somebody did not proofread the fucking out.
No. Here's
they put something out just a little bit ago. Comicbook.com from IGN. So it's, if our news wasn't up to date, all right, we got planning. We do. It's a process. It's all good. Okay, then I guess I'm glad they didn't do that because that was stupid, and they should never make that the joke again because it's a stupid joke.
No, because they're doing that.
Hey, I'll be right back. My roadside assistant is here. I'm fucking awesome. I locked my keys in my car, so I'll be right back.
Awesome.
Our fearless leader. All right, bro.
Yeah, but here's the thing: it's not. They're doing that with this Infinite Frontier stuff, though, because you're getting the whole Wonder Woman Spectre stuff. They're smashing characters together. It's definitely happening. So I thought that whole idea of smashing Black Adam and Shazam together was ridiculous to begin with, because isn't it kind of a minute point? Don't they have the same power set, basically? And I just thought it was funny that someone brought up the name change, but.
Well, in today's world, I mean, it's not that far fetched. Everything just
that's true.
They keep changing stuff for no good reason. So.
JJ Maxwell, this is Dragon Ball Z. When they run out of ideas, so they just combine popular characters together to become other characters. You are 100% correct.
But you know what? Bringing it back. But you know what? Bringing it back to what we have been reading lately, and honestly, there is some hope for DC. You know, we've been reading the Future State stuff. You guys have forced me to read this. I've gone through some of it. There was some good titles out again this week on Future State. Like, they're doing stuff, but the problem is too, some of that good stuff they're doing seems like they're going to end it too quickly and revert back to garbage, right? Is that what we're doing here? What's going on?
Well, I was talking to Matt about this before. This is what happens when you go from the 5G to this, and they do this. Like, the point of this was to roll out content and see what sticks. Almost like, okay, we're going to do this and see, oh, Black Batman, you like? Okay, we're going to cover this. Like, they're going to roll out these concepts, keep it short. So if you don't like it, don't worry, we'll go back to the status quo. Everything will be back to normal. But the problem is, what if you do like it? Well, it's like, well, fudge, because now the story got to end. And this is where we're getting those rollouts of that we are now. But I feel like this is what they were trying to do to begin with. Just, it was pissing people off and getting people worried, and it was DC ending when they said this is the new future of 5G. 5G is probably never going to be the future anyway. You know what I mean?
Can I ask you a question about this? Because I read, and we'll get into it, right, Matt? We're going to get into it, but before we even get into the books and what happened in it, was this the issue 2? Is that it for some of these titles?
Yes,
it is.
Some of these titles only have.
So some of the best titles they just ended.
But see, they didn't know that they would be the best.
I don't even know why you guys made me waste my time.
But no, they didn't know
they're
that they
getting
would be the best
spin-offs.
titles.
They're getting relaunches in Infinite Frontier.
Like, we're not saying it's a good idea, because Marco, I'm with you. It was a dumb idea in terms of the concept. If you're going to do all of them, I'd rather have made them all 4 issues, crafted the story,
do
all of it. Or if you think it's a short, have faith in your product. But DC is trying to play it both ways, which is why you still got the 5G rollout in the 2-month initiative. And then if things are catching fire, then we'll roll out these, Future State Gotham and stuff like that. But you're right, like, some of the best stories were only 2 issues, but I doubt that DC went into it thinking we're only going to make our best stories 2 issues, because they knew it was their best stories. They would have had some faith in it. You would have thought.
Can I ask you another question? Instead of DC putting, like, and this is always one of the problems. I know I'm going to get killed in chat for this but they're funny books. They're comic books. We don't need 50,000 word panels in each quarter or tenth of a page. Why didn't they just expand these, like you said, into 4-part minis and maybe stretch it out to 4? Like use a little bit more artwork to describe it, extend the story out just a little bit more. Because on the 2 stories that I read, I didn't read. Obviously, you can see I'm not in the best of shape, a little pale here, whatever. The 2 that I did read, I thoroughly enjoyed till I got to the last panel, and I was like, "Whoa, this is done, huh? Well, that's stupid." And there was parts though, and it could be because I'm taking the cold medicine or whatever. But I was like, okay, I had to put it down for a little bit. Stop
the
reading
parts
it,
you enjoyed were because of the cold.
No, maybe.
Wow.
But I had to stop it because all of a sudden you're going through and the action is keeping up, and then they do these panel parts, and we'll get through it where they just started like putting way too much in there. Like I know it's DC style, but maybe if they fix their style instead of trying to fix their characters, I don't know. Anyways, that's all.
Obviously DC is doing something right because Marvel's taking note, and they're about to go the same direction with this Heroes Reborn universe.
I'm excited to hear Marco's
a world without the Avengers.
Yes.
And you got a huge tease this week that the biggest character in Marvel right now still can't get his own identity.
Nope.
As we've gotten word that Miles Morales is going to be the new Falcon in this Heroes Reborn.
Oh, my God.
For fuck's sake.
Aren't you hyped? Whoa, Dwayne, calm down. Self-medicating to get... No. It is fine. Life medication is all you need.
This is terrible, too. I mean, like...
Yes, that's...
you take one of your most... I think Marvel's problem is that they listen to freaking dealers too much on panels. Back, 6 years ago, when people started screaming at those open panels, it's got to be 6 years ago now, 5 years, 4 years, and they're like, we can't sell these characters. By the way, all those guys are wrong, and if you have them on YouTube video, you should call them out for it, because these characters actually sell when you keep them doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like Miles Morales sells as Spider-Man. Like he does sell. You know what I mean? You start to see what's happening with Miss America now. She's starting to sell. Devil Dinosaur. I mean, she's in the Avengers right now, but like plays a good part, and there are people who have followed her for a while now. These are all characters that we've been seeing working. We have seen these characters working, and I don't know why Marvel thinks they need to do this. You already have a Falcon. You don't need to change it around anymore, man. Don't do the DC.
I think Miles would make an awesome Spider-Man.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
He does make an awesome Spider-Man. There's nothing. He does, and the title sells. That's the funny part. Like the title actually sells. Why?
Yeah, and it's just for their Heroes Reborn stuff. It's not like 616 continuity, but
I know,
still,
but
like,
who cares?
They're very much pulling on that future state. Like they took note at what DC's doing and like, oh, well, we should do this too, and just all the stuff out of Heroes Reborn that I've seen is just like.
Then instead of doing that, just do another version of the original, original Age of the Apocalypse. Just redo it, but do it the exact same way. Don't make it 100. Don't make it 100 nice keys. Don't make it 160 books, right? Because back then it was like $1.25 for those books. Now it's $5 a book. But do something like that. You could do that future era, and you could do it in a, in a series or in an event. Just don't do this, man. This is not.
Just don't do this.
Yeah, no, but I know that Heroes Reborn it's this whole like, what if the Avengers never existed? But are there actually comic book fans out there asking that question? What if Cap never said Avengers Assemble? Like, what if the Avengers never got together? Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. But that's a one shot, right? Like they've done that before. That is the what if book, right?
Yeah,
like,
they did the Heroes Reborn before, and it failed epically.
Is that what this kind of is? Is a what if kind of thing?
Yeah, it's a line of books of if the Avengers never got together. So it's like what the Marvel landscape would look like if the Avengers were never together. So I mean, what about the Avengers getting together made it to where the spider bites Miles versus him becoming Falcon? Like,
oh Jesus, that's so stupid.
Haven't you ever seen
just what you said? I mean, honestly, my head already hurts, but what you said makes it hurt worse, man. That's the dumbest shit I've heard today.
Well,
and I've heard a lot of dumb shit today.
I'm just saying.
Man.
I mean, do you think people are running to this? Because you know how a lot of people were, I'm not sure about this future state. I'm not sure about this future state. Do you think that's what everybody is with Marvel now?
You know what's saved Future State though? Future State, you could return it. So comic book shops were like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like it didn't matter if you ordered 100 copies or you ordered 2, anything you didn't sell, you could return.
I really
It's
like
like
the
a
sexy
shape of
Marco
Marvel.
voice. I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah, it's pretty good. What I thought saved it was good writing.
The longer
but
you go, the
wrong.
deeper it gets, and it's
Like you're
Solo
starting
Wookiee
to
had
sound
to
like
leave.
Barry White to me.
yeah. Solo Wookiee had to leave because he's like, damn, Marco's taking all the sexy on this podcast. I can't. Not even the beard is helping me.
No,
He
no.
had to
Hey,
bail.
I know that the good writing did help with the state
I was
stuff.
messing with you, Marco. Yeah.
No, but
Yeah,
really,
dude.
if you talk to comic book stores, they wouldn't have been going into DC Final State if it wasn't returnable. You know,
Sure.
that's the only reason they bought it. And then you put in a couple new characters that worked out.
Do you
It
think
starts
Marvel
up.
should make this
Hey, I could
returnable
always,
as well?
if you want, dude, I could always dip.
Marco looks
No,
so
let's not check.
unimpressed.
No.
Yeah, well, I'm not impressed with this. Even the artwork kind of looks childish. Maybe that's what's going for. Maybe it's like
Marco went to the store and Jar was gone.
Oh, hey, speaking of that, I appreciate everybody that said it. It has. You know what? I do have a little bit of a cold or whatever, but I've been getting a lot of people have been sending me a lot of posts of one single Jar Binks in Target stores or whatever. It's pretty funny, man. I like it. That's kind of cool. You know, it's cool to it does brighten my spirit to get pictures. So appreciate everybody that's going into stores now and just sending me pictures of one single Jar Binks hanging on a peg.
I would have put it in a bathtub for you, but
I wouldn't have spent $30 on it to put in a bathtub. I'll tell you that much.
No, don't do it.
do it.
I'm Batman.
No, you're drunk. Don't play.
Oh,
That's a good one.
well, you know what? I think while we're talking about comic books, I think we have a pretty decent transition here to Corbin actually came up with a pretty good little segment for us to discuss.
I was about to give you the credit. Really, Kyle. Thank you. Okay. Well, I mean, it's February. We all know it's the second month of the year. And what's great about this month is the shortest. But the second thing that's about it, Black History Month, So I figured in the spirit of that and comics that we would just spotlight 5 comic creators. Sure, you know them, but like give some light into them in like a brief little segment. So it's history. Let's do it. Boom, boom, pow. Let's get the first picture up. Hit it, Matt. All right. So the first one, who's that? Just sly looking brother.
Looking motherfucker.
Isn't he looking so cool? That guy is Christopher Priest. All right. So Christopher Priest is one we're all aware of. He's written for Marvel and DC, including work on Deathstroke, Justice League, Green Lantern, and more famously Black Panther. And so he took that series, Black Panther, that had been like really lagging after Panther's Rage in the 70s and such, and he resuscitated it in like the late 90s over his 62 issue run. And so how he did that, really fleshing out T'Challa, making him more of a 3-dimensional character. And what he also did I thought was really interesting was introducing the character Everett Ross, who Priest created because he personally felt that white people wouldn't read a book with the mainly black cast in a comic unless it had a white person, a white main character with which to tell the story, to kind of use him as the lens. And so what he said he did is that he said that he used Everett Ross to portray maybe stereotypes or things about black people that white people may think in their heads but not say out loud, and
like
use that almost like an avatar. I mean, listen, I'm not talking about T'Challa or myself in that regard and our well-endowed selves, but anyways, but beep beep, but the way that he brought that character about and really made T'Challa someone that not only the storylines from that comic series, most of which was kind of actually branched off and used in the film, but just the way that he was picked up and used for years to come. A lot of that stems from that 90s Priest run that he did with Marvel Knights. And so a storyline I would recommend is The Enemy of the State. Storyline that's from his Black Panther run, but he also did a lot more. He
When did that start?
You know, it's funny. Do not have that one written. Thank you for pulling me out there. No,
Sorry,
it's fine. No, it's fine. I didn't write the numbers down, and I'd read it a little bit ago. I just remembered it as one that was good. But now you're gonna throw me on the spot. Now I gotta.
That's cool. That's cool. Everybody, do your homework and go find it.
I'll have it to you in the middle of the show. Anyways,
perfect.
So definitely check that out. And he worked with the guy that's next on my list in Milestone Media. And fun fact about Christopher Priest, he's actually an ordained minister because Christopher Priest, All right, let's go to the next person.
He's getting some of that little side money there, little
I
side
mean,
job in between comic book
there's
jobs.
another guy who's getting that side. He's the guy I respect for his hustle. The next guy, Dwayne McDuffie. Dwayne McDuffie's a legend, plain and simple. I mean, he's done so much for the world of comics, both behind the panel and on the panel and on the screen. And he was the one who really founded Milestone Media, along with Priest and a few other comic book greats. And Milestone Media, obviously, minority-owned and operated comic book company that focused on underrepresented minority characters. And so, Static, Icon, Hardware were characters that McDuffie was directly behind. They all can be traced back to him, but he did a lot more, especially with the big two. He actually got to start in comics with Marvel, working on the title Damage Control, which I highly recommend reading. Check that out on Marvel Unlimited. It's really just about the people who clean up the messes that Marvel characters make after their big,
and they tried to make a show about it, and they messed it up. And they
feel like I saw a TV show about that.
Exactly.
But they did make a TV show about it. It ended up being different by the time it came out. But go ahead. I'm sorry, Corbin.
No, you're fine. It's fine. I would recommend just staying with the books that he did. It was just really funny.
What books does he have behind him? What is on his board?
He did some work with Justice League. Obviously, a lot with Damage Control. He was behind a lot of actual
Damage Control
storylines to comics in terms of Batman Beyond and things of that nature. He's more known, obviously, is what he did with Milestone. He did some
the
work
face
with
he's
DC.
making is let me get back to fucking work.
Yeah, I couldn't. I know I found some pretty serious pictures there, but a lot of the work he did with Milestone, with Static, and then bringing them into the DC universe and the crossovers he did. That was more of his writing. A lot of that outside of comics, though, would have been on TV, where, of course, Static Shock, Justice League Unlimited, Ben 10, which I wasn't aware of, but he wrote as well. He also did the movies like Justice League Doom, which was an adaptation of the Justice League Tower of Babel storyline. So that was actually the last thing he did before he passed away at 49. Just a heart procedure went wrong. But he also did All-Star Superman. He wrote the script for that movie. And then what I really like about his work was writing the epilogue story in Justice League Unlimited that wrapped up Batman Beyond, and the way that he tied it all together and put a bow on that series in the proper fashion. Because if you remember the last episode of Batman Beyond Season 3, that was just so weird. That's what I respect about him that I really liked. Fun fact, not only does he have a master's degree in physics, which, wow, but he was the half-brother of Keegan-Michael Key of Key and Peele.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hey, when you got guys that are on a show that do Detroit stuff, we always love that. So,
Yep. All right, on to the next one, bro. All right, third guy, Brian Stelfreeze, which took me a minute there. Another guy with a legendary career. He's a penciler, he's a painter, he's an inker, he's a colorist. He's worked with basically every major comic book company, and like everyone, you can expect to see like his signature painted style. I would recommend, again, I don't have a number line for this, but just check out Shadow of the Bat. Again, early to mid 90s DC Batman line, especially with the Nightfall run with Azrael and the way that he rendered him, especially once he put on his increasingly chaotic costume. Those covers to me were especially striking, and Stelfreeze was behind that. But he also worked in the early to mid 90s on the Domino miniseries with Marvel, and he's worked with Wildstorm imprint on the Matador series. So definitely check those out. Most recently, he's been doing he was doing work with the Black Panther run with Tanashahi Coates. I always butcher that name. Darn it. Anyway, him. Tanashi Coates. There you go. Boom.
Once you got it, you were on point.
Darn it.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I'm sorry. That's how I feel. When I was writing my script together, I was like, should I remind myself and put like the whole tad? Nah. And I was like, nah, I'm good. And then here we are.
I'm not going to do it phonically.
Hey, don't worry about it. You can join the Star Wars show where I mispronounce everything. So.
Hey, Marco, kindred spirit. I feel it. All right, next one, bro. All right. Oh, that's Paris Cullins. Yeah, so Paris Cullins, he's been... Anyone read up? Got distracted. He's been an artist who worked with DC for a while. This is all the way back from when he was sending samples of his work to DC way back. Just I don't even know how long ago this was. 1976. Whole different world, y'all. Anyway, he's most well known for his work Blue Beetle, which he spent 2 years on, but he also created the character Blue Devil with writers Gary Cohn and Dan Mishkin. And so he stuck with that through the end of its run. It was like a 2-year deal. I think it was 83 to 85 if I had to like call off the top of my head. Pretty sure about that. In addition to his DC work, you all right there, bro?
No, he's dying.
Hey
I
man,
forgot how to mute.
nah, I'm just making sure. In addition to his DC work, Cullum's also branched out. He's worked, much like our last guy, with Marvel, with Acclaim Comics, Crusade Comics, Penthouse International, which used to be called Penthouse Comics, really interesting, and then Massive Comics Group. Exactly. When I wrote that, I was like, Penthouse, beep. Anyways, let's go to our last guy.
That's the Corbin trade. Backing it up.
Wait, before you go to the next one, go back real
Yes.
quick and bring
All
that
right.
one large. Bring that whole picture large of him. No, not just him, the actual picture. Yeah.
I mean, I like the beard. If you're asking who he's drawing, I couldn't.
Wonder
tell you.
Woman.
No, but
that is. You're right. I'm looking at it
the
upside
others,
down.
yeah, he's drawing Wonder Woman, but look at that sketch that he's drawing on top of. Look at that motherfucker.
That's detailed, man. That's a lot
Dude,
of work.
See how many people are in that? Like,
I
it's
just saw Billy Graham's soul.
that's fire right there. But all right, I just wanted
It
to
is.
get a closer look at that. I thought that was pretty badass.
No, it is. I'm glad you put attention to detail there because I was like, oh, Blue Devil, saw who he was. I knew he was working Blue Beetle. All right, boom. Billy Graham. It's the last one, not to be confused with the Hallelujah evangelizer. But Billy Graham was an artist best known for his work with Marvel on Luke Cage and the Black Panther. So he was actually part of the creative team that launched the original Luke Cage Hero for Hire title. And he had inked the very first issue alongside John Romita Sr. and George Tuska. And adding to that, he either inked or printed every issue of the Luke Cage book under that original title, and he carried that all the way from that title to its first issue of his transition of what we more know as the popular Luke Cage Power Man. He did the first issue of that one as well. Graham then teamed up with Don McGregor, where they basically worked on Black Panther for 3 years. That was, and I have the issues for that, from issue 6 through 24. So the years 1973 to 1976. A lot of the Panther's Rage, a lot of the rendering of Black Panther from the Jack Kirby kind of style into more of the modern Black Panther style that we kind of more or less associate with them now. There's been another shift from the 90s on, but you kind of get where I'm going in terms of 60s to more of what he is now. A lot of that was done with Graham, who really kind of grew up the Black Panther in that way. Fun fact for Graham, not only was this guy drawing comics, now it's not James Baldwin. Interesting though, Billy Graham, but I like it. But not only was he drawing comics, but he was also appearing as extras in both beer and gum commercials, and he wrote some plays. So this guy was making his money. He was in his bag while doing this work. So,
hey, did you finish that Black Panther, that Luke Cage?
Yeah,
no, man. I got that beer commercial to go do. Be back at 15.
I mean, the guy, yeah, he was like a main character in this movie that like never was released. You know, like a pilot or whatever. Yeah, he was
Matt
trying to
knows
get.
how that feels.
Yeah,
he was trying to get it in, but that's my Black comic creator spotlight.
I know how it
Nice.
feels to try to get it in too.
That's way cool. It sounds like a lot of these guys are still, even though they started back, late 60s, early 70s, it sounds like a lot of them are still,
Yeah, the only one
and putting out good content and all that stuff. I thought some of them had already retired, and that's news to me.
Too bad a lot of them don't do the con circuit when the cons were going.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember ever seeing,
I met Christopher Priest. Priest at a con, but I'm with you on the rest of that. Yeah, no, the only two that aren't obviously are McDuffie and Graham, and that's because of course they passed away.
Mhm.
But yeah, the others are still going on, even as recently as last year. Still doing work. Well, I mean, Priest up to this year, they're all still working with DC and Marvel. But what I liked about them was that you saw them obviously doing work with the big two. 3 of the 5 that I mentioned had some ties with Milestone Comics, and trying to branch that out as well. But these guys were working and just kind of pushing the collective culture of comics forward and not even looking at it as like, I mean, yes, they happen to be. Priest himself was probably the more outspoken of race and comics by saying he didn't want to be looked at as a Black comic creator. He's want to be looked at as a comic creator that just happened to be Black. And what I liked about that is that, of course, being who they were, even though they were trying to just let their work speak for itself, not only did that work speak for itself, but it spoke for them as people. And I'm glad that, me and Kyle talked about that. They were able to give like a chance to kind of spotlight some of the work that they've done. But really, really neat folks, really neat work.
I mean, they should just be spotlighted as comic book creators and artists. Why should it be singled out for something?
I just want to take
they did great work.
a minute hold a beat here, and let's say Corbin gone for a month, comes back spitting fire.
Thank you,
Fire.
sir.
What a
appreciate that.
presentation, man. That was. I feel like
Thank
we
you,
learned
Matt.
so much. Killing it, Corbin. Coming
Thank you,
back,
sir.
ready to roll. Guys, if you're having a great time and you feel like you just learned something, 88 of you in the chat, let's hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that bell notification if you're having a great time so you know whenever us and everyone else on this channel goes live so you can get all of that great Flipside content. Again, fantastic job, Corbin. Just
Thank you,
coming
sir.
out, spitting that straight
Bars.
fire.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So I think it's off to time to do some comic book reviews, right? Everybody
Let's
read
do
their
it.
books this week.
It's rotating.
Part
Part of the cast.
So I think the book we should start with is Venom. What do you think? Did everybody read Venom, or is it just me and Matt?
Just you and Matt.
You just
I
y'all
don't
too.
know.
I have to catch up on Marvel. I made a calculated decision this week.
Corbin only reads DC. You know that.
You made a
Listen.
calculated decision.
He only
mean,
looks at Marvel picture
Hey,
books.
listen. I said I was coming back. I didn't say I came back loaded. I had to make a business call on these books.
I called in a couple favors.
You know, I glance at them like Solo Wookie said. I glance at them. I'll be buying them. You know, coming up here. Oh,
So how is the Venom? Dude,
Yeah.
Venom
lay it
33.
upon us. Let's hear
After
it.
33, man, I'm super bummed that Kate has only got 2 more issues left. This issue right here was maybe it's a good thing that he's ending in 2 because right now he's on fire. Like Kate is on fire with writing this issue right now. So why don't you start it off, Matt?
Well, I mean, you were going good. You keep that fire going. You keep
There
that
you go. All
that
right.
train on
You're
the track.
halfway down the
pal.
hill. You're a rolling
Yeah.
stone. Keep going.
halfway there.
Yeah.
Living on a prayer.
Go ahead, Matt.
You're driving to the hole, and you're gonna pass that ball
Just
off. What are
fucking
you doing?
start.
And a fumble.
Yeah, I like the issue a lot. I like the way that it puts Dylan on display quite a bit, and Spider-Man gives him that whole speech at the beginning about how
That little pep talk.
a little pep talk about how basically your dad has done bad things, people have done bad things, but this is your choice right now. Do you want to go out there and be a hero? No one's going to blame you for being scared and wanting to stay in, or do you want to go out there and get dirty and take it to Null and kick some ass? And Dylan pretty much says, I'm ready to hurt somebody. And that's pretty much what
I
happens.
like it as everybody is fighting. We got Eddie Brock, and we got a few select characters that are actually going into the hive.
Yes, you get the return of Flash Thompson,
Yep.
Agent Venom Flash Thompson.
And I like that they're going into the hive, and they don't think Noel knows he's there. They're there. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to do a surprise attack. And they're they're kind of right here. This is where they're kind of talking about who's going to go do it. And Flash is kind of tell Eddie he needs to be the person that this is his turn. This is Flash's turn to go do this. Eddie, this is his symbiote. It's time for him to kind of continue on, and this is kind of the end of the road for him, for Flash, in a way. So what they're going to do is Flash decides that he's going to kind of lead the charge and start fucking shit up, right, Matt?
Correct. Yeah, he's
I
going to
like
lead
the
the charge and go into the hive. What were you going to say, Marco? Sorry.
I like the Flash Thompson bit. I like that they break Agent Venom, and then coming up in the next panel, I thought it was really cool. Like the first part was okay, talky, wordy, which is great. But then when they start getting to like the action portion of it, and you get Flash sliding, go down one panel, please, if you could, or one page. Where you start, oh yeah, that was cool. The Dylan thing. Yeah.
But Dylan's just like, fuck it, I'm showing my power,
Mhm.
and I'm going to start getting shit done. I like that he separated the symbiote from Captain America.
Isn't that kind of a continuity error, though? Because I believe, I can't remember if it was King in Black issue 2 or if it was last issue of Venom. Didn't he already blast the symbiote off Captain America and threw his shield back at him?
Well, now he's got the shield, so
and now he's holding the shield again. So
look, this is what I'm saying is good about Marvel, though. Showing pages like this where it tells a story with all that art in it, it's really cool. And you shorten the words that you're using in there. It really adds on to it. Like, use the art. That's the point of comics. And I think throughout this, they started off a little bit trying to over-explain stuff, and then they started getting into these panels where it really started getting good. And I think the intensity you see in the faces, like, it's just drawn so well, too. You know what I mean? It is. So it's an easy book to read. It looks really good. So
I think that's the one thing about this Kate's run that he's done so well with this character is he's taken this character and basically redeemed him. This is Eddie Brock's redemption arc, where you kind of had that he was a bad guy, then an anti-hero, good guy. Like, you could never place the Venom symbiote specifically, but now he's kind of put Eddie Brock on this redemption arc and on this road to redemption. You see a lot of that here, and I think you're going to finally see him find his inner peace with everything that's happened to him by the time issue 200 rolls around and Kate walks away from this character.
Yeah, and they're finally doing it right. I mean, that's the one thing. That's what, when you're bringing up about what they're going to do with Miles, it's like, man, why? You started doing so much stuff that was the right way to do it. They've tried to do the redemption before with Brock, and it hasn't worked. And this one's actually working. Like it or hate the Carnival Barker stuff that Cates does. I mean, look, it's his work. Of course, he should be proud of it, and of course, he should promote it. And you know what? If people can play around with the market in other ways, why can't he? He's creating the stuff. He should get paid for it. So I have no problems with that. But if he wasn't creating good work, then you could kill him for that. But he's actually producing something that's pretty darn good, man. Like, this is pretty darn good. It's pretty popular.
Everyone kills him because they say you can't end a story or an arc, and it sounds like he's really about to hit this one out of the park and really give it a solid end. I mean, from what
I think what's good is he doesn't have to end it. He can just leave it and let somebody else carry it on. So he doesn't have to fall into that. He can put it at a place where it could just continue forward. And maybe that's what he's doing, where he's going to wrap a couple things up. But overall, if somebody just continues the story, he doesn't have to get blamed for a shitty ending.
Yeah.
I think as long as Eddie Brock is in a place where you see some sort of redemption in him, he nailed the landing. It's done. Like, I think this landing pad is so big on this one, he can't miss it.
Yeah, he doesn't have to end the story. He just has to end the arc. That's all he has to do. And that, I think, is maybe that's his key. Maybe the key is they've been trying to make him end stories, and that's just not his style. He just can't do it. So maybe just doing arcs, and that's why they gave him so many minis. And that's, that tones back to like some stuff. I always am saying, like, bring these new guys in, even though he's not that new, but bring them in to find out the way and do minis like they used to in the like 70s and 80s, where they'd have the half in the back of the book or something to that effect. It's not a bad idea. And when you saw him doing those minis where he did the mini run on Guardians, he did it with Doctor Strange Domination, right? That was really just a mini. And now you're seeing that he's kind of in on it. Maybe it worked. I mean, cross your fingers, hope it, because one of these two companies have to have something that works. So,
well, I think Dylan is clearly the future of this character. So, it's clear. I think it's clear that Dylan's going to carry on the mantle of Venom in stories to come. So yeah, all he has to do is just get into that spot where he can hand it off and be like, all right, Eddie Brock's story's done. Here you go. I'm handing it over to you to continue with Dylan. It's clear. It's clean. It's clear. You can do whatever you want. This, clean handoff, clean transition. You're not picking up a character right in someone else's messy story like a lot of these guys do. So
yeah, it's good. Keep going. Where's the sliding down with the grenade? I like when Agent Venom tries to breach the. Did we already pass that where he breaches the? Now here it's coming.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, I got this. Thumbs up.
Yep, like they're talking. He's like, what am I? He's like, you know what? This is my mission. I'm gonna do it. You need to stay. I'm gonna go take care of it. And that's what I was kind of explaining before, where he's kind of like, this is my thing. There you go. Yep. Let me just take
there's a couple too many pages maybe there, but it was kind of cool. And honestly, if you're gonna do oversized weapons and guns and pouches, because I know we're gonna get into our 5 worst covers, so everybody knows
oversized pouches. You say,
but if you're gonna, this is how you do oversized guns and pouches, man. Like I think the one thing that I have liked about Stedman and Cates on this run is they kind of play off a lot of the Marvel tropes, and they might not be making fun of some things, but I think they kind of are in some of this. Like,
I mean, that gun is probably about almost 4.5 feet long.
Yeah.
Hey, but at least it looks like an M16 with a grenade launcher on it instead of like a phaser gun on a Star Trek in Deadpool's hands. I'm just saying.
No,
Well,
yeah.
you-
I mean,
you
he put
gotta
all the
take
attachments
them.
on this. A little bit. I think
Hey man, if you're going in Noel's Hive, you better come with all the attachments on it.
Yeah, and some extra pockets to hold some more stuff for your gun.
I mean,
I probably would have went with the red dot reflex over the sniper scope, but what do
Yeah,
you
he did. He does have a 4 times on that. It's a little rough.
I'm just glad he's got knee pads because in case he's got to do a little bit of action on the knees,
And he doesn't have a bump on the back. I'm surprised about that, but yeah.
He's got to lay carpet. He's set.
He may have to do the knee slide, like the run and the knee slide.
He's also
And
got
there it is. And
his
see,
leg
Oh, there it
up.
is.
it
There you
fucking
go.
paid off.
crotch
right
face.
there.
Crotch
Yeah, there
face.
it is. Boom! I
Typical
called
90s
it.
crotch face right there.
Yeah.
Anytime you get crotch face, you have to
Love
have
it.
good knee pads.
Yeah, I love
It's-
it. Bruce
He
Willis.
comes
ought to
through
play
and he you know what I mean? He's blazing a path for others to follow.
No, it's cool. And then, he's got the spikes on the shoulder pads. I mean, I think they're playing it up a little bit. It's good. I
Mhm.
really do. I mean, I think everybody enjoys it. And, it's.
And I like Stegman's work in the action shots. Like he definitely detailed them. They're not phoned in. They're not like what we saw in Future State a few weeks ago, and where nobody had
No
faces.
halfway
Yeah.
through the book. Oh, Jesus. And the Wonder Woman
So-
thing. Yeah.
Even that shot right here, the close up and the detail on
bad.
his face
I know.
is just.
The artwork's awesome. It has been through the whole series.
Yeah, Ryan's been doing a really good job. So
The covers have been outstanding too. They've had a lot of really, really good covers on this run.
Gets his arm ripped off and still chucks a grenade.
Dude, you have to.
That's when you let go of the grenade the easiest is when your arms are.
And so what's
That-
happening?
That Null picture right there is amazing too.
I wish they would have used the shoulder spikes and you would have taken something and shoulder spike slammed it or something.
Oh,
like
dude,
that.
if it's the shoulder spike stab someone.
Oh, but all right.
Oh, dude, like up against the wall.
Yeah, dude, it would have been nice.
It would have been awesome. But yeah, so what they're doing is they're fighting him, and they think they've separated Null from the hive, so they think that they've kind of knocked Null out, and he doesn't really know what's going on inside the hive where everybody's connected. And then Flash is kind of merging. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's getting taken over by the mind, and like I was just saying, he's being taken over and possessed by Null, they think, but then he breaks free, and he's free of Null's. That's such a badass picture, man. That
dragon,
Fing
Fing Fang Foom, whatever Agent Fing Fang Foom now or whatever that is.
Dude, I hope that becomes its own series. Agent Fing Fang Foom.
Yeah,
That's such a good picture.
that'd be funny.
Now coming to you live from Marvel, Agent Fing Fang Foom.
Yeah, I mean,
So now what they've realized now in here is that whatever they're going to do, they need to do it quick before, while they think Null has no idea. And what they actually don't realize is that motherfucker's already one step ahead of them.
Yep, the big reveal.
He's there. He showed up. He's right behind him. Can't fuck with me.
what's up with the shorts though?
God.
I mean, seriously, the 90s gym shorts thing is good.
He's in his undies. He's in his boxers.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Well, let's not watch him do a crotch slide. That might be
Might be hard on his knees.
yeah.
When Noel ripped his symbiote, he literally knocked Eddie Brock out of his clothing when he hit the ground.
Yep.
He's just in his shorts, man.
All right.
I mean, hey, if I'm going to go fight, it's in my boxers.
It's in my
I
chonies.
am not going to take the time to get dressed before we fucking go through the red fucking vortex.
I always thought superheroes wore underoos, but apparently I am wrong.
Agent Venom could have spared him some shoulder pads or something, man. You could have just.
Hey,
thrown
man,
him
in one of my pouches, I got a whole other outfit. You want to wear
Yeah,
it?
just he's got. It's like I got some clothes. I'm gonna take it to Goodwill in this pouch right here. Let me get them out for you. Just put them on.
Ryan's done a really good job too, though. I mean, like he makes the bad guy look bad every single time. Whenever he just pops up, like if you go back up again and you see the hand just creep out and grab Brock by the back, like, dude, man, like, here it is again. Like, okay, we saw Fing Fang Foom Agent, and then it's like, because that's when you were expecting to see him, right? But then you didn't, and then all of a sudden the hand came out, grabbed Brock in the back of the neck, and you're like, oh, dude, sweet.
Yeah,
why does this feel so familiar? Because you can keep using the same trope, man. Like, you're doing a good job, so go ahead and do it again.
And look, everybody has a face.
If it works, why change it?
I think he draws Noel the best out of anybody that's out of all the tie-ins and everyone that's drawn him. I think Stegman does the best Noel.
And it changes a little bit every time too, which is cool.
Yeah.
Like now with the hair flowing, I mean, he does a really good job. Yeah. I agree.
It's like I think Eric Larson for Venom. You associate now that artist with that, with that rendition.
And I like this cover for the penultimate issue.
They're walking away. Yep, that's solid.
Man,
what an image! That's a hell of an image.
That's a deadly cover right there.
That's
that
just
one
sick.
is,
pretty.
Good luck on your 9/8 there with the infamous marble rub and solid black cover. I mean, that one's gonna
so
make CGC a lot of money on
my past experiences.
Yes,
everybody is don't send this right away to get graded. Let them acknowledge the Marvel rub before you send it in. Right, Marco?
What's that? Yeah. So with the Marvel rub, you don't want to be the first to market with it, because if you do, they'll downgrade it. So make sure if you go to the CGC boards though, and some of the other ones, some of the good places, they'll tell you that it's happening and when to submit it in. This one, I don't think we're gonna have significant terrible Marvel rubs. I think you're gonna see like that last Afro book. I think that there's gonna be a lot of people failing on that one, especially considering the different distributors that did it. There's different rub points. But if you can have like
there is.
Yeah, and there it is. But if you even look at it's funny you bring up the Venom book, because if you look at the Venom book, if you look at 3, the first print, right, that's the white cover where you had Noel on it. There actually is a manufacturer defect that they originally in the first month didn't recognize. It's like a little orangish red mark on if you're looking at the book on the right side, like halfway down through the cover, there's a little smudge mark almost. And people think it's a print mark, but really, after about a month or so, they figured it out at CGC, and now they started grading it as a 9/8. So you can actually get a 9/8 on that. So if you see those on eBay still, some of them raw, I know people are avoiding them, but do know that they are grading that 9/8. This might be the same case here. Look, it's a solid book. It's a good book. It's a great cover. It's going to be hard to get even with the rubbing, because you're going to have a lot of ticking, because that's just what happens on black covers also. So yeah, I mean, if you want to sit on it, so we want to sell raw. There's going to be a lot of orders though on it.
I mean, this isn't going to be like the sought after.
Yeah, no, I mean, like
in the run.
Was it 50? It's 50, right? They're doing a homage to 50.
Well, do you see that book becoming like a Spider-Man 301 case where because the Spider-Man 301, it's hard to get a 9/8 because of that all-white cover.
Cornel thing. No, I mean, maybe, but the bigger problem is that they have already CGC, like I said, when you had the 301, that bottom boxing tick pull off, that where the page is ripped kind of towards the bottom, they have automatically, that's a 9/6. It just is. It's flat up a 9/6. Anybody who's graded that book knows that that's a 9/6 because that's just what they've been grading it for years now.
Knows that.
Well, Matt, yes, Matt.
I do now.
Yeah,
learned the hard way.
Yeah, but I mean, you can press that book 100 times. You're not pressing that out of it. And it's just something that they've put as a standard. So like those type of little intricacies. Yeah, I'm using big words and messing them up today. There we go. Hey, we got the librarian back, so I'm trying to do it right.
Wait. What was that word again?
Intricacies. Anyways, if with those little things like that, sometimes you get. So that's why you might not want to go first to market with this book, is because if it does have. Now, if it's like I said, if it's not the Bartlett book, what was the other book? What was the other Afro book where there was different Marvel rubs in different places? That they typically don't let slide. You have to it has to be consistent. If the defect is consistent in the book, which is why it takes usually about a month or so, because especially at this rate, how fast people are submitting everything on Fast Track. I mean, you're pushing out 100, 200 books like in a couple weeks. So
do you think what they do is after a while they notice it on every book, so they're like, okay, this must be.
Yeah, I mean, like you'll see.
Like, I wonder how they figure it out. Like, or one day they just go, "All right, fuck it." Like, I mean,
so when they, I mean, even though you don't get your notes or whatever, there's 3 people that do it. You get your original grader, your second grader, and then your quality control person. Your quality control person is seeing this come through, and by the time your quality control person sees it come through on multiple occasions, they're noting that overall in the book. So when they have a checklist of that book, it comes up for them to look at certain stuff. And if you don't think that's true, okay, but they do have a checklist of certain books that they allow, and they tell their graders when they're typing it in, because it's all computer. Like when you were in there, they're typing in your book before, and it automatically pulls up stuff to look for. Like, hey, there's a coupon in here. Make sure that you double check that page, and they have every person's recheck to make sure that the Marvel stamp's in there. Or hey, this could have had a Mark Jewelers in it. Hey, it has all those things when you pull it up. So it also has like, hey, look at the bottom if there's that boxing tear issue. Just to let you know, red flag 9.6. If it's a Thanos 13, the Albuquerque, just know in the back right corner that you're going to be able to have 3 marks, and then they'll have a little picture of what it looks like. So that's how most things, when you're evaluating stuff for appraisals and stuff like that, that's how most things work. I assume, I know some of it is what they do. I don't know exactly what it does because I've only witnessed them do it before. I haven't actually dug into their computer to figure it out. I think they might arrest me for that, but you know what I mean. So
nah, you should give it a shot.
when I did have 10 kids and a wife, I would have done it. Now I got these things called responsibilities, so I can't be doing that anymore.
All right. What's my number 3 task for the? Get into CGC's computers to see what they're grading for.
Hack CGC's mainframe.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. I got too much to lose.
So I picture Marco looking like the dude in Hackers, where he's got the little eye thing right here.
Right,
He's got
the list in front of him. He's like, Pentagon? No.
Or it's like the old
White
man in
House?
Toy Story 2
No.
where he's got like the
CDC?
glasses that
It's
got
more
like
like
6 different settings that he can like really zoom in on it.
Yeah.
It's more like a cheap version of Ocean's 11, where I accidentally stumble into stuff all the time and just like, this door's kind of shut. I'll walk in there and see what's going on.
Yeah, there you go.
now that's what I'm picturing. Thanks, Joe.
What is Joe picturing?
Zoolander
Yeah.
scene.
Absolutely. Yeah. I use 2 thumbs here. I still type like this. All right. What else do we got besides
Is that the same
Wow.
Marco that's stealing from Wonder Bread and beating kids for Pokemon cards?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. He wasn't a kid. He wasn't a kid with the Pokemon thing. The guy was a grown up, by the way.
No, he was like 8 years old. You told us off air.
He definitely wasn't 8 years old. He wasn't 8 years old.
You fucking tripped him. His mom wasn't around.
Meet me in the parking lot. 3 o'clock high, punk.
No, that type of dude. I told some other stuff that I won't say on air about that dude, but he wasn't 8 years old. Wasn't. But he should have known better. He's old enough. All right. So what else do we get?
So let's kind
I
of
just
stay in
pictured
the.
Marco like Hackers now. Hack the world.
Yeah, I love that movie too. By the way,
Let's stay King in Black. Let's talk real quick. Venom or Gwenom versus Carnage. I like the first issue. I don't know if I'm coming back for a third. This whole issue was just pretty much Gwen and Mary Jane fighting.
Let us know. Wait, hold on. Let us know, Dart, about that. We'd like to hear about your Spider-Man collection when you figure it all out. Keep going.
Yes. So yeah, it's basically just Gwen and Carnage, aka Mary Jane, fighting. You find out the whole reason she let herself be taken over by Knowles because she's
fighting
jealous
over
of
a boy.
No, they're fighting over because Mary Jane is jealous. She's supposed to be the lead singer. She's supposed to be the star, and Gwen got superpowers, and now it's all about her. So she pretty much let herself be taken over by Null.
Just
And
Mean Girls.
pretty much get the Carnage symbiote. And the only real cool part about this book here is
That
just
it
kind
ended.
of scrolling through it quick. I like the art here where she's kind of getting that ended. I don't understand the direction of the art with the Mary Jane Carnage. That kind of throws me off.
It's
But
all
I like
over the
this
place, yeah.
Yeah, this panel here where she's kind of crushing her head and trying to take her over. That's pretty cool.
I don't know. That looks like yours. Did you see that
That's neat. You're right.
last week? That thing about Wanda from WandaVision, the faces she was making all the porn faces.
No, I didn't.
That middle square right there is definitely a porn
A
face.
porn face.
Yeah. And that definitely is a finishing off porn face. The third one on the right.
I mean, it looks like another happy customer of the Corbin Train experience to me.
The expectation, the enjoyment, the conclusion.
It is. Beep beep.
The Corbin train.
But she kind of falls into the same place, the same void in a way that Eddie's in, and she uses her little
Batman Beyond.
uses her little glider to fly around, and she gets met with Null. Like, come on, you go from Stegman's Null to this Null.
I don't like
the
that
bummer of that's like the when you're outside walking around, you're getting the bootleg shit.
Yeah.
Bootleg Knowles, get your bootleg Knowles.
It's like when you go to a con and you think you're buying a complete
Oh
set of
my gosh!
extra the animated series, then you get bootleg DVDs instead.
Why do you keep bringing that up? As soon as Kyle said bootleg, I knew Mal was gonna tie it back in.
What's this? What's this? Come on.
God.
I
Hey,
can't give those
that?
away for nothing now. And by the way, if anybody wants some 1980s bootleg Spider-Man,
Porn?
You didn't get it from me. Wow.
I do have to say this artwork it's definitely different. It's kind of a newer style, different.
Oh,
but
Solo
it's
being
still,
nice.
It's still way better than faceless, Wonder Woman
Not by
halfway
much.
through crap.
Not my
Not by
Noel.
much. Not by much. I mean, look at the Spider. Whatever this Venom Gwen thing is not much.
terrible.
No, I'm not saying it's Kirby-esque wonder, but
Kirby has problems
still,
too, but he was doing 50 books at a time.
it's still better than. I mean, look, at least this old lady here has a face. Like Wonder Woman just dropped off. There wasn't anything. Nobody had a face. It just ended.
Bless you.
I'll give it. I don't know, at 3. I give everything a 3.
So you think they're drawing it, they're going, you know what, this is Kirby-esque, it's good enough. Well, I mean,
They
they weren't, Kyle. I see some shades of Kirby in this one. He would be proud. Okay. Now, they're probably the same editors who missed. They're just like passing it all off. They took a week off on these.
But and then it rolls into pretty much Noel wants to know why he can't take over Gwenom's symbiote, and she pretty much tells him it's from a different I'm from a different dimension, and her powers stop her suit from taking her over and feeding off of her. And then he shows her why Mary Jane's so mad. And all
if that's really what they said to each other, I'm out.
It is.
This book is done for me.
That's what she says to Mary Jane. She starts pleading with Mary Jane to take off the symbiote. It's killing her.
I like that.
It's feeding off.
She doesn't
her.
seem like she's much of a challenge. Go back up.
Yeah, he just kind of like
he's just
swats
like,
her away
I'm just gonna pick you up by your ankle. Like
that's the most excited I've ever seen anybody to be kicked in the chin.
Yes,
he is pretty stoked.
I was waiting for it.
He's got the big smile. He's looking for it.
He was trying to shake her change out of her pockets, make $1.
Kick in the chin. Now we have a real fight. Like, come on now. Wow, there you go.
And she gets a kick in the chin. Wow, that wasn't nice. I was just trying to get your change. You're kind of mean. You are a mean girl.
But
yeah, I agree.
He basically tosses her out of the web or the void or whatever they want to call it, back into reality where she's having her fight, and she's pleading with Mary Jane to take off the symbiote, and that it's killing her, and that the only reason that
bitch.
Yeah, the only reason her symbiote isn't killing her is because her powers prevent it from corrupting her. So
we go back up.
Like, what the fuck is this? Sorry for using the F word, but
go back up.
I think you're right on for that.
A little bit more.
What's
That's
that?
definitely another porn face right there. Shit.
But
what?
Yeah,
what's that, Marco?
You guys need to stop. You just get laid more and stop watching so much porn.
Hey. Listen.
I can't help you, man.
When you have so much detail.
You're about bootleg. Wow. You're about bootleg DVDs and stuff. Like, I don't
listen. I took a sabbatical to find my life. I'm back. My life has not been found. So I think you're right, Marco.
Hey, one day when this is all over with, you gotta come over to Detroit. We'll fix you up right quick. It'll take about a week and a half, maybe 8 days. You'll be good. You'll come back. You'll be like, woo, swinging.
All right.
Apparently knocking kids out for Pokemon cards or whatever I do. I don't even know.
Listen, it's a tough word. I get it.
All right. Hey, let's get into some of that DC.
Marco runs the Meyer militia, where he just hires little kids to go in there now and get cards and just stomp on people.
Absolutely, I do. Yes, I do.
If they ask you to go on the truck, just say no.
Yep.
It kind of reminds me of the one time we used to have Atomic Comics here in Arizona. We'd have Atomic Comics, and
they're Samurai now, right?
I think they just kind of went out of Atomic. Kind of just went out of business here.
Just kind of faded.
They kind of went into debt, and it was just a long thing. But I remember it was over by the mall. I'd walk over to Atomic Comics, And like I went in there because Faust was the hot comic at the time. Do you guys remember Faust?
Mm-hmm.
Remember it was very gory and there was a lot of nudity in it. It was an 18 and over book. Well, I was like 13.
Oh, bad.
So I walked into Atomic Comics and I grabbed them and I put my books on the counter and they're like, "Kid, you can't fucking buy these books." And I was like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "It's 18 and over, whatever." So I'm standing outside. "Hey, mister, you go buy me some comic books?" I got money. They're like,
just
"What?"
Want to collect a run. Sure you do, kid.
I really want to
Sure
get these.
you do.
And I see a buddy of mine with his dad. They just walked out of the movies, and I'm like, "Hey, Mike, come here. Will your dad go buy me some comic books? Here's the cash." He was like, "Dad, will you go buy up some comic books?" And he's like, "Can't you go buy your own comic books?" "No, they won't let me." So we walked in there, and he's like, "All right." I said, "They're right here. That's this one, and this one." It's Faust. "Here's the money. Just go." And he's like, "All right." So he walked in there and he bought them. He brought them out to me. They fucking banned me from Atomic Comics.
They banned a little kid from a comic book store. That's awesome, dude. That's good bit. Hey, maybe that's why they shut down one day without telling anybody about it.
Yes. "Hey, mister, will you go buy me some comic books?"
It's not booze. It's not cigarettes. It's the funny pages. Can you buy me some funny pages? Hey, Mr. Man.
I want these black and white pages with all these boobies on it and gore. Will you go buy it for me?
Hey, so I think Matt's coming back in a minute, but let's start getting into some of that future state because I think people actually want to know about it. Matt, do we have what is future state next on the slate here?
Yeah, we can go future state. What do you want to start with? Flash, Harley Quinn?
I want to start with. Do you guys like Flash? Which one out of those? What was it? Flash, Swamp, Wonder Woman, and what was the last one?
It was Harley Quinn, Swamp, new Batman.
Nobody.
Which was your guys' favorite, by the way? I actually liked the Flash and the Swamp. Those two were.
I liked Flash too.
I thought
Harley Quinn's been my jam.
Okay, cool.
Batman.
We'll start with whichever one you got loaded up. Let's get into it.
So you read Flash, Marco? Let's start with Flash then.
Yeah, I did. Flash.
Good. Screen share coming up.
All right. Cool.
So Flash is pretty. It was the first issue. If you guys remember us talking about it, it was very convoluted. It was very all over the place. It was very hard to follow. And it really, as a Flash fan, I was very, very unsure of this run. And I was kind of bummed about it. But issue 2 came out and it actually revived finally Flash is good again. Like I was so bummed out that Flash was awesome when, for Reborn, and then they were going to fucking kill it with this, but they actually, they actually came back and they must have realized the garbage that they did the first issue, and they really came back with this one.
So this is where I almost gave up because they wrote a novel for the first 2 panels.
Yeah,
it was a lot.
I was just going to ask, does it read easy? Because it looks awful damn wordy right here.
Once it gets going, it's
really good. Yeah,
they really had to kind of get you up to speed. No pun intended.
That's what I was kind of saying. It would have been nice if they would have turned this into a 4-part mini because all this here, and if you keep going down a little bit, Matt. Like all this starting out point, where just all this stuff going on and keeps going. They could have explained it a little better. You could have used art to explain it, and that would have been a whole issue. You could have had a whole issue lead in set up to this first part right here. And then after this, it could have been the 3rd book when he starts getting going, which is what I thought would have been nice. But what do I know? I only read funny books.
I like the funny.
But where this actually starts off is so. Barry has no powers. He has no Flash powers. He's just a regular ass dude who's smart. And that's it. So what he's done is he's taking all the villains that he's battled and all of the weapons that he has confiscated and taken. Yes, he's actually re-engineering them and figuring out how they work, and he's making them work for him.
See, I found this confusing too. Like that part was all right, but as you see, like that's the top like quarter page panel or half page panel, and then they have all these like 10 pages panels, and it's like, Well, if you could, why didn't you just?
So what they do is they go back after this. They're going back to the first issue, and they're referencing a bunch of the first issue. Kid Flash dies, everything that's going on, and Wally being fucking crazy, and Wally just what is he going to do with Wally? Scroll up a little bit. The down.
You want down? Okay.
Up is in the pages go up.
Keep going. Yeah, keep scrolling down.
Scroll down.
The ring thing, I didn't get this. Okay, hold on. I didn't. What was the whole point of the ring failing? Was it because if he downloaded it, then it wouldn't still be on the ring? Is that what it was, Kyle?
So I think without his powers, he's uploading there, so everything is. He still has a copy of it, no matter what happens.
Yeah, but if you go down, it says that the transmission failed. So like it did the transfer. Yeah, so I assume that the ring didn't download and send out anything. Is that correct? See, that's why I'm saying they should have done a little bit better job. This beginning part was a little
Well, is that his ring or is that
Yeah, that's his ring.
It's his ring. It's the Flash ring.
It's
But he somehow has it back on him too, which is
that's
weird.
not Reverse Flash's ring?
No. There's no Reverse Flash talk in here.
Keep going.
Okay.
Isn't that just where he holds his super suit?
So what he's doing right now, it is, but they've actually explained where it's a thing. What he's doing now is he's taking all of the tech from all of the villains, and he's, like I said, I call this Iron Flash.
Yeah.
Because what he's done is taken all the tech and he's mounting it to him so that he has, since he doesn't have speed, he's got weapons.
Why does everyone want to copy my look? God damn it.
Dude, I swear
Easy
to God.
cosplay for you when cons come back.
I swear, Solo coming up. I sent Matt a pic of it, and I said, "Look, it's fucking Solo." So I'll show you when we get to it.
I'm telling you, you got the DC Future State market cornered.
So what he's doing now is he's
cosplay it.
He's going after Flash. He's going after Wally. Wally's fucking crazy, and he knows there's something that's taken over Wally, and he thinks Wally's giving him these clues.
Well, it's the Phantom thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like the Horseman of the Apocalypse. And you know that from the first one or whatever. But yeah, keep going. Hope is power. That's great. That's actually great art too. I thought that's what kept me into it, was like the art was actually kind of good. And then to see all the, you had the boomerang stuff that you would know even if you're a casual reader of Flash.
Mm-hmm.
You would know that these were some of the bad guys and for something was going on. And it was pretty cool. Keep going down. You can keep scrolling. We'll get into the action part.
Yeah. So he's like, I'm going after Wally. And that from the first issue, you know that hat was so that it was a communication tool. And it helps him communicate and bring things in. But yeah, keep going.
Joe's correct. You can raid the kitchen section.
Yeah.
That.
You could raid the kitchen section at Goodwill to nail the costume of Flash.
So right here, he finds Wally, man. He's got a proton pack on. He's gonna bust some ghosts. It's on. It's kind of cool. But look, does that not look like a proton pack on his back?
I didn't think that until you said it. As soon as you said it, you are spot on.
It's a goddamn proton pack.
It is, but then once again they've got not Barry, the other one, the old
Wally.
Wally. They got Wally over. Once again, like 13 word bubbles for one page here.
Yes.
He's got a lot to say. He's a chatty Cathy.
Well, he keeps going. He looks evil there too.
Yeah, and they start to fight, and it's actually a Wally clone going out. It's fucking Barry has fucking.
Well, I thought this was kind of cool. So Barry gets this Wally and traps him and has all this stuff going on, and it turns out that it's a clone.
Yes,
but Barry knew it was a clone, right? Or he didn't. I didn't understand.
He did not know it was a clone. Because if you scroll up, he didn't know it was a clone.
Scroll down.
God damn it.
He says up.
When I mean up, that means the pages go up.
I'll scroll down. Just say scroll down.
I'll always say scroll.
Keep scrolling down. Keep
scrolling up.
So he hits him with the boomerang. He thinks he's got him. He uses some.
I love this.
The cutting off the legs.
Dude, he shoots a rainbow, cuts fucking Wally's legs off, man. Fuck your reading rainbow. I'm going to cut your legs off with it.
Oh, that was cool. Yeah.
And he feels bad about it, and then that's when you actually figure out that it's a clone. Ha ha ha! I fucking tricked you.
And if you keep going, but you think like, oh crap, here it comes. Now Barry's gonna get his. You think that Wally's gonna win, but Barry and all his tech keeps going down. Barry and all his tech.
He hits him with a flute.
Yeah, he does. He's using all the bad guys like best weapons against him.
Yeah, and then he's got after charges up the proton pack.
Yeah. He even uses a duplicator against them, so then there's all these old man solo Wookiee flashes coming out and stuff like that.
Where is the perfect one? Keep going. Somewhere around here is the perfect one that's fucking perfect solo Wookiee.
He must be handsome. He sounds delicious.
What's going on?
That's what I'm saying.
So what happens is this there's this like thing that's possessing Wally.
Yeah.
And what it's actually doing is it actually wants Barry, and it's actually feeding off of Barry's want and desire to always like prevail.
It's a good twist on famine, the apocalyptic thing. It really is, because instead of like usually that feeds on just like the life force of people or whatever, and you thought that's the way it was going, and it was kind of a twist that famine is actually feeding on like lost hope, which was really kind of cool. It really was a kind of cool way to do it.
So he kind of turns, scroll down.
I'm looking for the panel.
Oh, it's okay. We can skip that.
Where the solo Wookiee panel. It's this one right here, Cal.
It's that one right there. There's solo Wookiee. I actually cropped it real tight and sent it to Matt. I said, "Holy fuck, look at that. It's solo Wookiee."
Perfect cosplay.
But he actually like sucks the life out of Barry and turns him like into like a spirit so that he could torment him forever.
Yeah, and that's where it came to an end. That's where I was saying like this is pretty cool now. So like this should have been its own book portion here where he gets into
because he goes into this long explanation why he's doing what he's doing. So if you guys pick up this book, it's very long explanation. He like really explains it.
It makes sense. It has some continuity to the book. With that being said, they should have just made it into its own. Like this portion right here should have made it so far.
Yeah, they smashed a lot of shit into this issue.
Now, is this one of the 2 book runs? This is on the end of 2?
Well, we'll show you at the end now.
We'll show you at the end. So what ends up happening is he's actually like he's taken Barry's life force and stripped it from his body, and like he's like just like a ghost type now.
Yeah.
Wait,
so
you mean Wally? Barry took Wally's life force?
No, it's technically
Wally took Barry's life. The whatever entity is in Wally came out and famine and took Barry's like because he wasn't there for Wally was kind of like it wasn't even really mattered. The matter wasn't Wally. The whole intention was Barry. The whole thing. Wally was just there because he knew that using Wally would bring Barry to him.
Hope. It would bring him hope. That was the thing. He wanted, because if he could get the hope, then he could draw off that hope. It was kind of a weird switch on how famine works. Like famine's the hunger for, usually it's like food or crops or something like that. They did this one on, it was the hunger for hope. And it was really cool how they did it and switched it around. Like, sure, that's an old character that's been told back 1,000 times, like just 1,000 times. But they did a great job on it. The ending to this book, though, also was very surprising, and that's why I brought up the book. So
are they trying to make him like all 4 horsemen of the apocalypse in one entity, in one person?
He's just famine. They just switched around how they do it.
Okay. Well, because he's talking about war, pestilence, famine, and deaths, and they're all within me. So that's why I was wondering.
Well, yeah, because I think he was saying, I think he was saying that because after that, that's how he explained how he's using hope. Because he thought it was, like, well, I already have the 4 in me.
Because that's what he explains. He's like, Barry, you're always going to try to prevail. You're always going to try to win. You're always going to. So if I'm going to put you in a state that you're always going to want to do this, but I'm always going to be able to drain this from you.
Yeah, because that's what I feed off of.
Yes. And so what happens is he strips him from his body and he's like a ghost.
And it seems like it's Wally, but it's really the famine character. If you go to the end, though, then you get that right there. There you go.
So what happens is since they strip him from his body, it kind of disappears and the ring falls. And Cybeast picks it up. fucking Cybees. Jesus Christ. And then, so he radios in and let him know. So whatever's happening now, it leads into Teen Titans.
See, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Like the ring still had the data in it because it didn't actually download. So that was your payoff. Like when it said that it failed earlier, then your payoff was that they had the ring. We do know that they found something there because if you read the old Teen Titans, remember he said, yeah, Barry's gone, but we found some great information or whatever, and that just plays right this back into it. So it was done really well. They should have just extended it to 4, got rid of some of the wordiness. The art was good in this book. It was an enjoyable read. It was just, no. It was enjoyable.
It was one of the better Future State books. It was a lot better than the first one. I'm glad I'm not one of those people that go, forget it. The first one sucks, so I'm out. So it was really if you guys haven't read it yet, it's really worth picking up.
Yeah, that's cool.
Next, Matt, we have drum roll, please.
Let's go. Everyone's favorite. I know Corbin's ready for this.
That's a motorboat, not a drum roll.
Future State.
Listen, you said it, Solo. You said it. That was pretty bad. Yeah, Future State, the next Batman. I mean, I'm gonna get my.
And I love how well they say March, but we all know better.
What?
March all the Infinite Frontier stuff says March, but we all know better.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah. We do. I mean, okay, so this is weird. I've had a really kind of love-hate relationship with the Future State Batman because on the one hand, I think that Laura Braga's done an amazing job on the art so far. I've enjoyed it, particularly in this 3rd issue as well. On the other hand, and maybe this is because it's a limited series, maybe because Ridley thought he would have had more time to work with this and flesh it out, of course, until we hear about the spinoff that is inevitable, because it feels so limiting. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like I'm getting a lot of an idea of Jace's motivations here as Batman, of anything going on in the Fox family outside of these immediate situations. And that is, it's not immersive to me as a reader to try to get into the story, where this is basically tracing off, if you remember issue 2, Batman had basically caught a murder in progress or stopped one just after it happened. But what he didn't realize is that was a couple that were basically avenging the loss of their daughter to this guy. So it was just a revenge play. In the midst of all of this, they are hunted down by the magistrate. They unmask the magistrate and where they feel about Mask. And so they're going to basically dispatch of all of them. And Batman at this point is like, hey, I'm not going to, these people need justice, but what they're about to receive from the magistrate is injustice. And so he then takes upon himself to get out of the situation and basically turn them over to authorities. And so what he does is he goes and calls not really the one person he can trust, because in this mysterious world right now, there's not really anyone that he can trust, but he's trying to make sure that this couple safely gets to the GCPD. How does he do this? He does the only thing he knows. He uses a burner phone to get in contact with the one officer, the officer he thinks will do the right thing, and that's Detective Chubb in this story. And so what I like, what?
Chubb.
Oh, yeah. What I like about this story is that you kind of have this dialogue between Chubb and Batman. Chubb knows exactly who Batman is as soon as she gets the phone. She's definitely not a fan of the mask because they're illegal. So she's not a fan of Batman at all. And she basically makes a joke where she's like, hey, surrender yourself in the jump. It'll make this easier for all of us. But she understands once Jace explains the situation, and she realizes that, yes, although the magistrate rules all, like, there is law and order, and that she is on the right side of that she wants to be on the right side of that. And so that's kind of where it's carrying on. And the relationship that they have is very similar to, I guess, if you were a big fan of Batman and Gordon back and how they kind of started their uneasy alliance. It starts on shaky ground, and then it kind of builds up from there. For me, the artwork was wonderful, especially in this issue. I don't really know how I feel about the story. I feel like it's decent. The writing is better than it was last issue for sure, I think, in terms of kind of feeling along like the prose and how it's, the dialogue is and how it flows as a reader. But again, I go back to my earlier point. I'm not invested. I don't really know what Jace's motivations are. And at this point, I'm not going to lie and say that I care much. But yeah, I mean, the hero of the story to me, Laura Braga, she did an amazing job on this art. I think a lot of it just pops. And I think in many cases, the illustrations don't make up for the exposition, but they accentuate it. So yeah, solid B. In general, I don't. It's weird. I guess this is kind of like looking at this book would almost have me looking at DC Future State as an initiative as a whole in terms of I see some good things here, but it's like they weren't really sure about, they didn't really back the product that they put forth, and you can tell because it's almost like they accidentally walk into some good ideas and then they don't want to like really step behind the plate and give it a full swing. They're doing these check swings. If you know baseball, I don't really know a whole lot of it, but you just kind of stop short of the whole extension. That's what I think DC's doing. I would rather they just go 100%, hit or miss, whatever the case may be. Y'all know I've been right behind it no matter what, because that's what I do. But right now I feel like they kind of went half, and I mean that's what we got, a half story, I feel like. So
what's up with the name change from Jace to Tim? Like what's up with that, him changing his name? Or we don't know.
No, I'm not familiar in terms of I'm a lot of it, like I said, motivation wise. I don't remember in this case. I don't think there was anything mentioned in that. Read this early this week, and like looking back, it's just for me like, again, it's a solid enough story. It's an improvement on the last one, but like we're 3 issues out of 4, and what is the ultimate resolution?
I want to real quick. I know we've talked in length about Damian Wayne possibly being Red X. Anyone else after reading this issue start to get the feeling that he might be Peacekeeper One?
I mean, it's possible. It's funny. I hadn't even put on my whole deduction hat of like who it might be. I think that, I mean, then I'm taking what I already know of the character in this role. Okay, so why do you think he could be Peacekeeper? If I may turn that question back. Just kind
of this whole like back and forth that him and Stans have about that's not the real Batman. The real Batman is dead. The other Batman, the way I hear it, they caught up to him and he was worn down. He lose the will to fight. Just kind of just the way he's referencing him, and he's like
he's speaking like an authority on the issue.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm gonna wear his cape like a blood-soaked robe, and it just seems like it just kind of gives me that feeling that there's a connection between, he's got a connection or he's got an issue with this Batman or with the idea of Batman. And
I mean, that's the thing though. Like, I guess you're right. Like in that's a good point. Like, I would like to know what is the feeling in general about, I mean, okay, you kind of take care of a blanket statement, mass vigilantes aren't allowed, period. Fine. But like, what do people think of this new Batman? Not just Jason, his immediate family, but like in general, there's the Batman's rogues, not rogues gallery, but the members of the Bat family, wherever they are, like, what are they looking at? If I can get some more context in terms of this world, make it more immersive on this future Batman and not just a new guy behind the mask and boom. Gonzo with a good point. Do you think it could be Jason? I mean, given what we know about Future State Gotham coming up, I don't.
I don't either, because you see him, if you read Dark Knight, the Dark Knight, Future State's The Dark Knight issue 2, Jason Todd has a backup story in that issue where he's very much, they talked about it last week, he's very much working alongside Deathstroke's daughter, and he's still using the Red Hood moniker. And the only reason he's able to wear a hood is because he's working for the magistrate now. So he's still very much in that Red Hood role, still trying to do his own thing. So I don't think it's him. And it kind of makes me feel like the whole vendetta that Peacekeeper One has against this Batman is like he's an imposter. He likes the fact that he killed the original Batman, and he's taken this imposter running around Gotham as like a slap in his face or a slap to his credibility, and it just feels like there's just some kind of deeper connection between the mystique of Batman and Peacekeeper One than we're being led to believe.
I do like about it. It doesn't matter who it is. At least people are talking about that. Like, could it be this? Could it be that? And the Jason Todd stuff worked because we're bringing him back up, which is kind of cool. That was a good book. And Batman's actually becoming relevant again, like an actual decent book. I know there's 4 Batman books out there, but still, at least 2 or 3 of them are pretty good.
That's all you can ask for, honestly. You're right.
Okay,
I'm with you, Mark.
What's this?
Do we think that we would ever see
at
Bruce
the very
Wayne
end? I'm sorry. At the very end, I forgot the story. No, at the very end, the couple realized, or mainly the husband, he's like, wait a second. Like, I'm waiting for you to safely deliver me to the GCPD, protect me from the magistrate. But maybe if I kill you, the magistrate will like me. You know what I mean? So like, I'm gonna take my chance. I'm gonna take out the Batman, and Batman wasn't expecting, and also had gotten injured and needed them to help him. So he was kind of caught unawares, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Yeah, let me just do that. Like, why am I waiting for you? Just ungrateful, and I hope he dies." Sorry. Like that, yeah, I forgot about that. And you're right. Do I think Bruce Wayne would have that happen to him? No, because Bruce Wayne, and that's probably a knock, but I like that because it shows a difference between this new Batman and Bruce. Bruce was a lot more, I don't want to say mistrustful, but definitely measured in his approach. Definitely a lot more cautious. And no, he would never let someone get the jump on him, especially just some random dude.
Well, if he had superpowers, he also wouldn't have this happen to him either. But
well, I mean,
you know, if his name was Moon Knight, this would have never happened.
Never.
I mean, listen. We don't know that. We don't. I mean,
we do. Absolutely.
All right, Marco. Thank you.
This guy wouldn't have a face. Just ask the Bushmaster.
He probably would never let him get to the match. But then again, though, you have to look at it. Like, he probably would never have turned him over to the magistrate. He would just killed him himself. So, like, shout out to Batman for doing the right thing, truth, justice, in the Dark Knight's way. All right.
Shout out to Moon Knight for being a superhero.
Wow.
I'm done with you, dog. I didn't miss this stuff. Oh man!
All right, what's next? What do we got?
There we go. We just said what's next.
What do you guys want? Do you want to do
I'm cover
Swamp Thing?
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah,
dude, I couldn't get through Swamp Thing, dude. I was like, "Fuck, this is boring."
Really?
Fuck how plants fucking grow.
Well, let's get your review then.
All right,
heard it.
Swamp Thing. I'll tell you.
It's boring, and he doesn't want to know about plants.
Go ahead.
The first issue was really good. Maybe you know how sometimes you're just not in the mood to read a certain book.
Yep.
I think when I was trying to read it, because I read a lot of my books at work when I have a few minutes of downtime, or I need to get like, you know how I need to clear my head before my next task, or I just need to take a 10-minute break. Go ahead, Marco.
No, I think part of it too, though, is something we've talked about before. Like some of these books, the writing was like overdone, but the art was so great. In this case, the art really was rough. I mean, it was some rough art.
Dude, I must have read this page right here 3 times, and I was like, fuck.
Oh, no, I read it once. Then what, like, that NyQuil must be kicking in. Fuck it. I'm on to the next page.
That cover was dope.
Yeah, but you get in there. Yeah, it's good. You get in there, and they do some of the old tropes that they've done with Constantine and Swamp Thing and some of the stuff before with the art, and you're like, okay, it is what it is. We'll just read the word bubbles.
Can't be what it's not.
Right. But it wasn't bad. I mean, I'd like to start going through, he's got the family. This was kind of cool how they did. I thought they were going to go with the whole, like, oh, it's the ozone. We're killing the ozone, Swamp Thing, and do that whole thing again. And they didn't. They actually used, like, a bad guy that was going to project something. It turned out pretty good. Keep going down if you could. And then I thought they were going to do, like the Nazi type thing here. Keep going down. And this actually turned out to be a pretty good surprise. He actually isn't just decaying. He tried to rebuild himself as part, like he tried to accept in the life force that Swamp Thing uses too, but he actually like rebuilt his internal parts with, like, I don't know how that works. I don't exactly know how that's going to work, but like, yeah, took out his organs and tried to put in the Swamp Thing portions to keep him going, and it's not accepting him, so he was kind of ticked. Keep going. The art's bad, man.
I'd be ticked too.
What's that?
I'd be ticked too.
Yeah.
I like how this dude's nose basically fell off in one panel.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the art was really bad in this.
Fucking Voldemort.
But the actual writing in the book was pretty good. And then if you keep going down, you could just skip through this art because it's bad. I mean, they're not going to be able to tell what the story's about by looking at. Right here's where he starts going, like, we're going to get the people against them. So the people outside are like, listen, something's going on in here and it's really killing us. We got to go attack. And Swamp Thing's little maid family, like he made this girl and these people, and they're going to attack too. So they're all going to attack this big industrial thing. And you're like, okay, here we go. We're going to hug a tree in a little bit. But it gets a little brutal. They kill some of the guards. And then he gets inside. Keep going.
Yeah, he does.
That was kind of cool. But then this guy throws. So you see that the whole bad guy in this was he was just jealous of Swamp Thing. He really just wanted to be Swamp Thing. He didn't accept that the life force wasn't accepting him. He was really mad about it. This actually was pretty good here. They changed it up where they started doing some of the fighting, and the art was a little bit better.
Looks a little, a little upgrade. You could tell
as the story went on. Keep going. You can go a little faster. We don't have.
Does that say Kafoom?
Yeah, it does say Kafoom. Yeah. So then they do a blow up thing, and then Swamp Thing goes like, "Hey, listen, you all are living in this factory, and you're like killing all the people." He talks a lot about how it's his job to take care of humanity, and that's the one thing this guy never forgot. And this guy said, well, this is all planned. I knew you were going to use the plant that we were feeding ourselves with to kill all the other people. I knew this was all going to happen. And pretty much, here comes my master plan. And his master plan, he was calling him out saying, like, you almost destroyed all humanity too. Why isn't this thing accepting me? Like I said, DC's wordy. It is what it is. Keep going.
Is this villain's name Monsanto?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't really know what it is. Who cares? Keep going towards the end. Man, we can skip through this. So then the parts that get good is towards the end, Swamp Thing pretty much is like, I'm all here for humanity. So he actually has his beings, the woman and the kid, go like, what about us? We've been with you this whole time. Why are you just going to give up on us? She gets really mad. He's like, you're going to take care of all these humans? Because the factory is going to turn the world dark. So it is kind of like the end of the world apocalypse thing. He's like, yeah, sorry. My goal wasn't to keep you guys alive or myself alive. It's to use my body to keep all the humans alive or whatever. Because he's saying like they're flawed, but they can be better. They have more potential. We're already perfect almost. They have more potential. Solo. Yeah, we have more potential to be better, so we will be better. So then he ends up, if you go all the way to the end, he absorbs his child creation and his woman creation type thing, and then becomes the all life tree pretty much at the end. That's how humanity lives there. It's kind of touching, I guess.
That's how I am in this podcast.
Yeah, there he is. He's becoming the life tree. He gets up there to it keeps the people warm, but then he even talks about how he dies at one point. I do. And it's just his like husk, and that he hopes the people will survive. And then they get cool sunglasses at the end of the story. It was pretty good.
Shouldn't everybody?
Yeah, cool sunglasses.
They become Cyclops at the end.
Yeah, Cyclops. Yeah.
They get to watch their eclipse glasses. They got their spiffy eclipse glasses.
So what? They're growing weird now, or what?
Clearly, that's data.
Once again, this was another book that if they would have split it up into 3 or 4 books, I think it would have worked better. Because as Kyle said, it's tough to read through that book and just be like, okay, the art sucks, and then we got to chug down all this verbiage. You know what I mean?
I like that my wife gets her own page at the end of the book.
Nubia?
Yep. But that's, you know what? I 100% agree with you, Marco. I think that is the biggest problem with these future state books is they're cramming too much shit in there.
Yeah. You just don't focus on the good. You know, if they have good artwork, then they threw too much stuff. Even with that, it was a good storyline, but you're going to get bored halfway through because the art's not going to keep your eye on it. And then you have, you know, each panel's got so much shit in it. Man.
Yeah, it's too much.
Are you trying to cover up the crappy art with word bubbles? Because you're not doing that. That's not working either. So
it is inconsistent. I will say that. Yeah. Sure.
Like I said, but the issue 1 of Swamp Thing was badass. It was very well written. It was everything was really good about it. And this one, I think I think they're bombarding us with too much stuff.
Yeah, I think if how they were rating the plant, if they took that and made it its own book, like there's one comic, like issue 3 was them just rating the plant. They showed more action. You could see like the Swamp family doing what they're doing and like how it's going down, and just the regular people with their pickets or whatever they're using.
Swamp Vision.
Yeah, do something like that. Like I think that would have played a lot better, and I think it would have made the story progress. And then you can use crazy doctor guy talking about himself and work a little bit hard into him. And it would have played well, but they chose not to go that route, obviously. All right, what other?
Let's do Harley Quinn.
Let's go Harley Quinn.
I think Harley Quinn is the unexpected surprise of this future state.
I agree, 100%.
This is the surprise run that I didn't think I was actually going to enjoy. I thought I was just going to have to muscle through it to review it. And I'm actually finding out that this is the book that I'm enjoying the most. It is my unexpected surprise.
Yeah.
I love the art in this book is kind of wonky, but I like it. I think it works, but the color scheme pops so well in this book.
I think they just, I don't know. This book was done really well.
I like the detail for the light reflection too. Like if you're going to do it right. You know what I mean? That's kind of cool.
I've never seen lens flare on a panel of a comic book before.
Dude, they must have been watching one of the Star Trek movies or something.
J.J. Abrams.
J.J.
everywhere.
Abrams. They must have
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams on this thing.
You know what this comic book is missing? Lens flare.
Jesus, Star Trek.
But it's actually good. It's actually like Harley Quinn. Like you've kind of gone through the book, but it's, you know, Crane doesn't want to put on his mask and be Scarecrow. And what they've realized is go ahead and intro this beginning and then I'll pick up on it.
So, I mean, pretty much what this book is you got to remember from the last issue, Harley Quinn has been basically hired by Crane, Scarecrow, and the Magistry to be her own Suicide Squad. They want her to be her own Suicide Squad, and they're playing off Harley, and you kind of forget in this whole aspect of Harley Quinn that you've got that goofy character, but she's also very intelligent and she's very smart. And they
But
kind
she
of
knows the ins and outs of every
right
villain,
of
in
villain
Gotham.
and how they work, and and so Crane wants her to go after Black Mask, and that's kind of what is leading up here. Is Black Mask is attacking this dude at dinner. He poisons him, and
but he's poisoning him for a reason. He's poisoning
Right.
because he's taking Black Mask's money and he's filtering it,
right.
and he's kind of taking it all, and he's not really, Black Mask isn't really getting anything out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of punishing him for it.
So the first couple panels of this book is just the opening scene setting the stage inside, and then it cuts to basically Harley and Crane looking over the crime scene. And
I like that Harley, like Crane takes it as like he's a forensic scientist. He's going through it, and Harley's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna tramp through. I'm gonna look at this shit. I'm gonna fucking point out what I need to point out. But you can really see in these panels right here, you can really see how smart Harley is, and when she's actually like bantering back and forth and trying to describe what's going on. You actually see her intellect.
That's kind of where I'm at as well. You're right. Like the way that Stephanie Phillips wrote Harley, usually, you know, the wackiness, that kind of back and forth, fine, but also being smart like the character should be. And if you look in the past, the intelligence has almost been played off as like almost like an accident when it comes into play, right? Or something that's just whatever, like just a joke. And in this case, I think it's handled in a balanced way that really comes through.
yeah,
Yeah. Go ahead, Matt.
and she's kind of hinting at him this whole time that like that he needs to become Scarecrow again, and she's trying to get
But
him.
there's
to
a
put the
reason
mask
why.
back on. Right? Yeah.
So Black Mask has a mask complex.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying like if he puts his mask back on, it's actually going to draw it out to where he has a complex against that, and it's actually going to work in their favor for him to be Scarecrow.
I like that. And the guy's anything but dead weight, and she high fives his dead body.
Well, the art's good.
Yes. So keep going. So like,
but like she's so smart, and like she picks up that, you know, she's saying he must be mass producing these masks, because I know when when I was with the Joker and he was buying masks and we were buying masks for the Joker gang, that it was costing a lot of money. So he's actually doing it from somewhere where he can mass produce these masks, and she even goes into like all that.
I thought that was a joke.
I don't know, but she like,
I took that as a joke.
she's kind of just breaking that like all down. Well, I think it was, but I just like that she went into that, all that, even kind of talk about it. And I like how this kind of looks like the Batman robot from New 52.
The Sentry.
Jim Gordon's bat suit. But yeah.
So what ends up happening is like she gets into Crane's head, and Crane's like, you know what? You're right. I have to put on the mask. I have to be Scarecrow again. The only reason that this is going to work, and I'm going to get to where I need to get to, and we're going to capture Black Mask, is if I become Scarecrow. So that's what he's doing. He's actually sitting there. He's contemplating. He's going back and forth about if he should. And he actually realizes that he needs to be Scarecrow again. He's going to have to put it on. He's going to have to just do it. And he doesn't like the idea and he's pissed about it, but he knows it's just what has to be done.
So I take it he puts on the mask, right?
Yes.
He puts on the mask.
Let's see.
He goes and he fights Black Mask.
Yeah,
He starts releasing his fear toxin.
that's cool. That looks good.
Dude, there's this one panel in here
Breaks
where
it.
it's not, like I'm a Scarecrow fan. Like, I think he's such a badass character.
Mm-hmm.
And just and then when
There's a toxin.
right here, man, where he's releasing his fear toxin, you could tell he's back in his, like, he feels it. He's back. He knows Scarecrow. I'm back. I'm loving it. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, I know this feels good. And I don't know, like, that panel up there is just kick ass.
Yeah, there again, they won with the artwork, right? Look at how many words is in there. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words.
Yep, he's
Hold
like,
that whole panel up.
he says, "What terrors do you see?" Because he's released his fear toxin all around, and like, this is what I said, this is what I got from this one panel was, it's it. This is it. He's feeling it. He loves being Scarecrow again.
They need to do more of this. This is exactly what they need to do more. Scroll down a little bit more, please, Matt. That's it. Like, great color, great art, 5 words, and then it goes into some action scenes.
And it's,
one bubble per panel.
Yeah, and it's flowing, and they're battling, they're fighting. Harley Quinn's like, fuck this shit. And he fucking just smacks Black Mask. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Scarecrow's after it. It's just...
Yeah, here we go again. They let the art do the talking here. Keep going down, Matt.
Well, like, I like how he loses his mask and Harley puts it on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool. Make it stop. Yeah, perfect. This is good. And is this done too then at the end of this? Is this like this Harley Quinn now is done also, or is there going to be a third Harley Quinn?
So Harley Quinn's done after issue 2, and it rolls into
everything's done. Yeah, she comments that the fucking the mask stinks. She's taking it, she's walking with it, and she just says, "You know what? Fuck this shit." And she tosses it behind her, and she throws it in the garbage.
But she does have her own #1 relaunching in with Infinite Frontier. So,
and what happened to Scarecrow? He's dead, or
no? He gets arrested.
Oh,
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Whatever. Fair enough. Yeah,
so it's actually a really good issue. It's actually, I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. That was my surprise book of Future State. I've never been a super huge Harley Quinn reader. You know what I mean? Like, she's always a part of it. She's a kind of a cool character, but that was my surprise. Like, yes, I'm glad that I read it.
Good.
So I'm gonna transition here real quick away from Future State and go to a little bit of Marvel stuff. The big one that came out this week for me, one of the big ones from Marvel wise, is Avengers 42. Let me share my screen here as this is still scrolling. Why are you still scrolling? There we go. Avengers 42. Basically, a quick run through this book. Basically, what's going on is the Phoenix Force is looking for a new host.
Before you get started, I want to say something. Do you remember a few years ago when everybody bitched about Marvel art?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They must have fucking listened to us, all of us Marvel fans and all of us Marvel readers. When we bitched and bitched and bitched that their art sucks. Yep. And it seems like that's what they had doing a few years ago was Marvel was using like the interns or whatever they were using. And that seems like what DC is doing now. And it seems like Marvel has their art on point right now.
Yeah, they really do.
That was just go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, even in this book, this is a good book for it too, because I read this book too. And like, it is a little wordy, I'll give it that. But like the actual action in it, even this first part with Nomar was good, man. It's good. Night and day. Go ahead, Matt. I'm sorry.
So DC, if you're listening to this show,
well, I mean, you can.
Well, between the two companies, who has the better art? Like, what would you think? Like, it's
art.
tough, right?
Right now, Marvel's
killing it with art.
It's not even close, dude.
Yeah,
as a DC fan, DC is 90% what I read. I'm gonna say everything that I read, Marvel is fucking on point with art.
Not even close.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you. Okay, I thought maybe we have some dialogue there, but okay.
Image and boom.
But basically, this story
boom size, right?
still concedes the competition between heroes to be the new wielder of the Phoenix
Did you say
Force.
still conceives or still can see?
No, it
I thought he said conceives, but I knew he
He
meant
did.
to see.
Steve's,
He
whatever.
did. What is he conceiving?
The Phoenix Force.
Oh, ooh, nice. Okay, I see you, Matt. Clean up hitter over here.
So
Yep.
Brian, all he could respond with was a dot. He must be so enthralled with us that he doesn't even know
All
what
we
to
get is a
say.
dot. But it's still the competition to see who's going to be the new host of the Phoenix.
Holy fuck, it's wordy.
Yes, it is. Nice Shang-Chi right there. The big thing to
Eric
take
nailed
away.
it right here. DC has some fire B stock covers, but Marvel kills. Yep, you're 100% right.
The big thing to take
Fair
away from
enough,
this
fair
book,
enough.
though, comes at the end.
Everybody's
get
in this
kind of a
fucking book
new-
too.
We get kind of a new origin for Thor, and you find out that the old Phoenix and Odin had a little get down,
Good for them.
and thanks to that get down, Thor was born.
Well,
And they're hinting that Thor is not only Odin's son and the god of thunder,
is
but
this
he's
the
also
book where you see the fur?
yeah, yes, right here.
Yes.
He's also the son
No,
of the
that's
Phoenix.
not it. That's not the panel.
Yeah, it
Is
is.
it-
It's the one I sent you. It's just you see more of
Someone
it now
needs
where you
to
see the
mute.
fur.
Oh, so the picture Matt sent me of this.
It was
looked
like this. Yeah, and you're like the carpet matches the drapes.
Yeah, I said the carpet matches the drapes. But now that I see it's a whole loincloth, now I'm bummed out.
But yeah,
I like that they're just showing the 70s muff.
I've come to tell you everything, my son. So we're getting another origin or another change in Thor.
Another reset.
I just wish they'd stop with the Phoenix Force too. I mean, how many times are they going to try to make that one work?
They're
Many
going
times
to do
they-
it about 6 more times.
Yeah, I mean, that hasn't
But
worked yet.
so my thing here is if Thor is the son of the Phoenix and the son of Odin, and he becomes the rightful wielder of the Phoenix Force, how OP is this dude?
Yeah,
This
Fair
is like more OP than Superman level. Now you're talking here, and that's one of the reasons I don't like Superman is because he's so OP. But yet, a rare green crystal that everyone can seem to find I don't know. We're not going to go there, but that's the big takeaway from this book was just the new addition to Thor's lineage and how he's apparently the son of the Phoenix and Odin.
yeah,
But
great.
still a good read.
Thor's
It was a good
mom's
read.
gonna be pissed.
But let's Kyle, let's go ahead and we've done Marvel, we've done DC. Let's move a little bit to some indie books.
I think this was the surprise hit of the week.
It was. This is by far out of all the books I read this week. This was my favorite. From Aftershock, Maniac of New York.
And
number
you know
one.
what I like about this is it's very Friday the 13th-esque for me. It's like you could tell that was the vibe that was going through as this person was writing this book.
Did you
Okay.
have to have your friend's dad buy this book for you? guys?
No. But the whole time I read this book, I was going,
Wow.
for sure.
Expensive soundtrack.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
But the book centers around New Year's Eve. The setting for it is New Year's Eve 2016, as you can see here. And everyone's running from Times Square, and this murderer shows up, and he just desecrates a bunch of people in Times Square.
Hey, can I make a quick note between Marco, yourself, Matt? I think Kyle might have dropped one solo too. We're using some really big fancy words, and I like the way we're doing it. Like the inner.
Honestly, sir, I don't
bibliophile
ever
in me
use fancy words.
Okay, that's
I'm
fine.
not.
That's fair.
I'm not a $2 word guy.
It's only because you're here, dude. Normally
Okay, well,
we-
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
The
when
love
you're
is
here,
so
when the
good.
librarian's here, we got to step up our game.
Yeah, it's so good.
Our
I
vocabulary.
I don't know
I'm
big
sorry.
words. I'm a pretty simple dude.
It's fine, Kyle. You did some beatboxing for us. Back to you, Matt. Thank you.
He did some beatboxing. So yeah, he desecrates a bunch of people in Times Square. Just it's like nobody can stop him, and then it does this weird over the years transition through news clips, and that people are calling him the maniac of Manhattan, and they're looking for him and they haven't found him, and he just kind of shows up out of places and massacres him. And they're very Jason Takes Manhattan. Yes.
Looks like a lot of the interior art's all watercolor. Which is totally unique. You don't see that a lot. I like it.
So it pairs this woman who has this promise that she made her, this like guilty conscience of someone who was murdered that day that she's going to avenge. She becomes the new head of the task force looking for this guy because the police are kind of like whatever.
But
they
they're
get
not
sightings
putting a
all the
lot of
time.
money into it.
Yeah. And they've got sightings daily from copycats and people that are just like making things up and screwing around with them. And they partner her with this detective that's really overworked and kind of she's on the edge of underpaid. Yeah. And on the edge of like leaving this, not believing.
Kind of sounds like Solo Wookie.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Not believing
the same thing.
The murders and not wanting to investigate him anymore. And then things start coming up that, that's right. It was his first victim. That's who she's.
Yes. The first victim was like, they were on a date. They were like boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah. And, so she's trying to avenge him and she gets paired up with this cop that's kind of the no nonsense, bad rogue cop that's about to, lose it all type.
If this was Lethal Weapon, she'd be Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty much nailed that.
Yeah, that was spot on. Wow.
But it's great where they're just, you know what I mean? They're figuring it out, and she's actually come up with some shit, and it's enough to intrigue the cop to be like, okay, we need to start looking into this.
Yeah, and she asks who's this, and she pretty much tells her that it's the first victim, and they're breaking into it. And at the end of the first book, it cuts to a train, and the doors close, and people are they hear bang bang bang, and then they realize that here we go again.
The killer's walking into this.
Yeah,
he killed somebody, and he's walking into the subway car.
You see his bloody. Like, I love the watercolor, the art in this book.
That's cool.
Staying clear of the closing doors. All the blood everywhere. The close up on his face. And
it looks like he's just going to go to fucking town.
Yep. So the next issue I'm expecting is all going to take place of him just massacring everybody in this subway car. So.
What's that supposed to mean?
But yeah, Patrick said this is definitely a book I added to my pull list. Me too. I was surprised. I definitely I read it. I picked it up on a whim and I read it and I was like, Kyle, dude, you got to check this book out.
I know, and I read it and I messaged back and I was like, fuck, you're right. Nice. Good pick. So I you know what? Aftershock is cool because you know what? Aftershock is what was it after? No, it's not. Never mind. It was Vault that got me into Donny Cates.
Yeah.
I thought it was Aftershock. No. I get it.
I like the art. It definitely is something different. You don't see a lot of the watercolor-esque, interior panels. You see them here and there on covers, but that's pretty, I like it. I like the art a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And everybody has a face.
It is really good when everybody
as he stops on the panel that doesn't have a face.
He has a face. Right. It's there.
It's a shadow face.
He's giving that smile. It's there.
I think this was the surprise awesome book of the week.
I agree.
Here we are.
Definitely. So that leads us into Marco. We had some Star Wars that came out this week. High Republic.
Are we gonna do that, or are we gonna do the? Are we doing the?
Yeah, we're just gonna do.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Shit.
We could go through Star Wars real quickly. There's not much to do in Star Wars. We'll just show what's coming up on the FOC. A couple interesting covers.
Most people don't care about Star Wars, so we can just do it real quick.
Yeah, we can. All right, let's go.
We know that all 80 plus people that have been chilling with us tonight are here just for Star Wars.
All of a sudden, everybody leaves.
Everyone's leaving
Star Wars, I guess.
Yeah. So they came out right after our review on High Republic 1 Adventures, the IDW series. They actually did come out with the final art for the 2 covers. It's actually pretty good art. I know that somebody disagreed with my opinion on the art, but that's okay. It's all subjective. So this is cover A on the left, cover B on the right. You've got buckets of blood in a car speeder. That looks kind of cool.
Buckets of blood?
Yeah, that's the guy's name. It's Buckets of Blood.
That's his name?
Yes.
It's fucking dope.
Yeah, that's so dope when you hear that. So the writer knew
How did he get that name?
I'll tell you. So the writer knew a guy who was an EMT, and the guy was called Buckets of Blood because he'd go into the worst situations and say, "We're gonna need buckets of blood to save this one," and that's where he got the name. Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's all. Yeah. Or was he a vet?
That's my new favorite Star Wars character.
Yep. So that's why we keep bringing it up, because it actually turned out that they did a really good job. And of course, the covers, if you don't like them, too bad. I think they're sweet. So this is something else. The second print is also coming up. Make sure you get the second print. I think it might be a little bit popular because of, Patrick says he wishes that his parents named him Buckets of Blood.
I do, for sure. Like, I agree.
So here we go. The second print for High Republic Star Wars #2 is up. It does say Dark Skier on it. Question mark, explanation point. I think there's a lot of questions if this character is going to go dark. No, I really think they're going to kill him off, but you never know. So you should probably pick up one just in case, because if he does, this will be the first cover of him. He's actually slashing a body in pieces on the cover. Obviously, they don't have him slashing it there. But
so what does the Rage of the Jedi mean?
Because he's angry. So he lost his arm. Yeah, he goes through in this book.
So he's a Jedi, and is he transferring over to the dark side?
No. So in this, I don't think he is. That's what they're hinting at, but I don't actually think he is. In this book, he cuts a Nihil in half, and then just starts. Nihil.
What the fuck is a Nihil? What?
Nihil. Anyways, he cuts them in half. Oh,
what the fuck did you say, Marco?
Read a book every once in a while.
They're space pirates.
Hold on. Wow. Solo, what is the name?
It's Nihil.
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 Does you normally pronounce it as the Nile?
I do. I always call it the Nile. But then somebody said that's Nihil.
I think Nuthill's better.
Nihil. Anyways, he ends up dicing and slicing it up.
He does go crazy. He has to be stopped.
He has to be stopped. So that's where the Rage of the Jedi comes from, because his ex-Padawan, who's now a Jedi Knight, is like, "Oh wait, you cut him up too much," and he does. He goes a little crazy. However, and then at the end, he's starting to go a little bit crazy too. It's also the FOC cutoff for 3. That's the twin in the back that's being possessed by the plant. So if you didn't like plant life in in Swamp Thing, you're not going to like this book at all, because it's a horror book. You know, they're going to use the Children of the Corn plant
type of theme.
Yeah, and that's
leaning that way.
It's a good book. This is
good.
And this is the variant cover for that book. I actually really like it. I know this character's already becoming popular. Unfortunately, like I said, I think people think he's going to turn to Skier. No, his name's Skier. People say he's going to turn to the dark side. I don't think he's actually turning to the dark side. I think he's dead. They're going to kill him off. I mean, just with everything that's going on.
So, as a Star Wars fan, would the dark side be where you go?
No. I'm a gray Jedi, bro. I'm in the middle. I'm not the light or the dark.
I've never heard of a gray Jedi.
Yeah, it's like who's a good example of that?
Corbin.
Oh, okay.
I want Marco to explain this.
The gray, it's like the in between of the Force. See, the Force is a yin and a yang. That's how it always works. That's why the rule 2 kind of makes sense, but kind of doesn't. There will always be one part trying to push over to the other part, so it's in the middle. And Kyle just went to sleep.
Would that be Ahsoka? Would you consider Ahsoka a gray Jedi?
No,
sorry, I was getting yelled at.
No?
She's more on the good side. She's just not.
She's just not part of the order. There's difference between Force users that are gray and being difference between being a gray Jedi and a Force user, or somebody being on the gray side of the Force.
So a gray Jedi is someone who just doesn't commit.
Yeah, they've kind of gotten away from that, and they're kind of like they do like.
I'm not
Qui-Gon Jinn would be considered,
but I'm not going to go to the dark side. Like,
right.
So you're just a non-committer. You just like a millennial.
Whoa, that's rich.
You guys are hitting them all today. You started off early on, now you're still going.
We're not coming for
Hey, no, Matt, could you show that last cover though? Since we talked about Avengers, this was a cover that I found interesting. I wanted to hear everybody's opinion, including Chad, on it.
Chad doesn't have an opinion.
Of course they do. This is because this is also coming out of FOC. Is that She-Hulk Avengers cover? I thought this is a Bartlett. Is that her name? Ashley Bartlett, whoever.
Bartlett.
Yeah, I thought Jen is that whatever her first name is. I thought this is kind of a cool cover. Does anybody else disagree? I love the purples and stuff that they're using.
It's kind of neat. Yeah, it pops in a nice way.
But
I mean,
it's
the
got
green with
the
purple in the background, it plays.
God,
very
what's that
Patrick
80s
Nagel.
show?
Miami Vice.
Miami Vice.
Mhm.
Lost me at 80s, but
Miami Vice, #1 new show.
It's very
No,
Patrick Nagel art. Patrick Nagel was huge in the 80s. Very graphic artist, did a lot of airbrushing. Very, very Patrick Nagel-esque.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, cool. Well, whatever. It's look. I saw this cover. I'm grabbing a couple of them. I just wanted to let people know about it. I think it's a cool cover. There's no spec on this. It's the storyline is you already saw what the last story was, so it is what it is. Maybe you get a first whatever of Thor's mommy in there or whatever the heck's going on with it with the Phoenix Force. But very Don Johnson. Yep, that is very Don Johnson-esque. And maybe that's why I like it too. So cool, man.
Nice.
Well, that was it. So that was the covering. We didn't bury you down on Star Wars stuff. We just gave you a little taste.
Finally.
There you go. I know it's made Kyle's day. Matt, please tell me you put my 5 in there and you made that last minute edit because
I did.
okay. Good. All right, let's get to that then.
So now, Matt, bring us into our next segment.
So if you guys listen to last week's episode, it's time that we go through our top 5 worst covers in comics. We can't not mention worst covers without our good friend Robbie L right back here.
I made a point not to
unblock me, Rob.
Liefeld.
Unblock me, Rob. Come on.
Love you, Rob.
Yeah, we love you, Rob. Good friend Robbie L.
I love Rob.
Everyone loves Marco, so let's keep Marco chatting. First up, we got Marco's list.
Keep Marco talking.
Keep Marco talking. That's
That's
we
the
got
name of the
I
game.
wanna-
That's the theme of
I'm
the
stoked.
modern comic mayhem.
I want to see Marco's list. I be honest. I'm
Oh, here we go.
a little excited
Kick
about
it
it.
off.
Here we go.
So I went a little different route. I was going to do a whole Rob list, but I got away from it. Oh, wait. And there we go. We start off with Rob. This one, when it hit, look, I know everybody thinks pouches.
God damn, I want to pull the staple out of this book and put it
And no
back in
feet,
instead
yeah.
of being graded.
But what I think is like, the guns that, like, this is, he somehow made his art worse. Like, he should have put pockets on this. Instead, you get whatever the crotch thing's going on there.
It's a weird.
Whatever that is, messed up.
Like Wolverine, he's like Wolverine's
got a
packing, and
cliff
then like
lip.
Major X has got a little dick. So what the fuck?
Wolverine's also got like a cliff lip or something like that. Like something. What's going on with the
He's
teeth?
got
and,
no
like,
upper lip, dude. He's got no upper
yeah,
lip.
there's no lip there. This is supposed to be his major piece of work. You know what I mean? The guns have like they're just rectangles. He put 2 rectangles and made them gray. Like it's the overall bad. And the Cable's supposed blaster gun in the background is bigger than Wolverine. Like the proportions of all this doesn't make sense. And then he apparently just didn't give up on feet. He's giving up on legs at this point. He's like, no, I'm giving up on giving up on everything. If it's not abs, if I'm not drawing abs, I'm not drawing anything anymore. So that's all he draws.
If I'm not drawing bulges and abs, fuck it.
Major X has got abs all the way from his crotchtorial region, probably his taint, all the way up to his.
How would that be? The crotchterial?
Yeah, all the way up to. Is that a word, librarian? I don't know.
You know what? I don't think so, but it's a good effort there.
Okay, I appreciate it. But
It's
he's
close
got
enough.
abs from there all the way up, and I don't know. maybe we could
Crotchial
go-
region.
He's got it up to his like almost neck at this point. I don't understand that. With that being said, I think Wolverine's pecs turn into an ab at one point. What? I don't get it. It's just bad. It's gross. And
It's gross. That's
Well,
the
can we
best.
talk about how the fact that his claws are supposed to retract into his body, and if that's the case, those are shooting out of his elbow.
Yeah.
When you retract those claws, those are shooting out of his elbow.
Proportions are just not his thing. All right, we can go to the next one. Yeah, because it's garbage. Everybody knows it's trash. It's Rob, so it's trash.
There we go. We got that
I-
match.
I actually
Hashtag
enjoy
Rob
this
is trash.
cover.
There you go.
I actually
Oh,
enjoy
that's
this
terrible.
cover.
What do you
Hate it.
enjoy about it?
It
What
almost
is
looks
there
like
to
a
like?
water drip, like he's like paint
Yeah.
dripping or something.
One of my kids gave me this cold, and before they gave me this cold, they sneezed, and this is what came out of their nose. This thing right here.
Oh wow.
This is and it's huge in the tattoo community, and they call it new school, and it's where they do odd body.
I think you're
kind of-
just making shit up at this point.
He is.
not-
He's
I'm
100%
not,
making shit up.
and it's just
Something
they
new in this
over
niche
exaggerate
community.
certain body points or
This
parts.
is new school
It is. It's called
tattoo.
new school in tattooing.
You're just
and-
making.
and
You're
that's
just
what it's
talking to
doing.
talk right
Listen,
now.
listen. Solo has his hands on the pulse. He's there. He's in the
No, no,
He
he
hears him
doesn't.
talking. All right.
Okay, well, you know what we call this?
Lying.
Old school people call this straight hot trash. So this is straight hot trash. This is there's like it looks like a goober. Like what is this? This is
Yeah.
okay. First off, the storyline wasn't so great in this book. It's 90s. I get
What's
it.
the weird
Like-
point in his back?
I don't know why does his
Scoliosis.
butt become a pointed hip and like
What
until
is
they
he
chewed out a
curved on?
portion?
And his knee. He should have got the.
Yeah,
He should have got the knee plates from fucking Flash.
Jody, dead on. Am I on acid? There you go. Yeah,
I just like how the calf, the artist really wanted to put his signature in the calf, so he had to make it like massive.
and then you give him a
the signature.
duckbill platypus, a tail as a foot. Like I don't.
And like everything else is so angular and sharp, and the head's just kind of a round thing there, and it's just
Ah.
weird. It's just
Yeah.
it's all the wrong angles.
Yeah, what is the upper part during by the trade? Eric says his foot looks like a flipper. Yes, I mean it is bad. It's just I don't you Solo Wookie could try to explain some tattooing, whatever. This is
It's-
junk. Get this tattooed on your forehead, and then we'll call it a style, I guess. But like besides that,
It's new
nah.
school once it's
Nah.
new schooled on your forehead. So.
Yeah. No, we're not doing that. I
Nice
would.
call. They want their art back.
I would never put this on my forehead. Cramps.
I wouldn't put this
maybe
anywhere
never
near
on
me.
my forehead.
Okay, what do we have next? Oh, I thought I moved this to last. So here we go. This is for Kyle. This actually is a comic.
Yeah.
This is Blue. Was it Blue Wave put this out? Blue Wave's like the company. They kind of put out like now they put out like the political books. Like if you ever see the comics or like the Bible or whatever, like if, whatever the new president is, they put the new president or a senator or whatever. It's that type of book. They do it all the time, or the Pets or something like that. It's like a POD thing. This was William Shatner's attempt at some comic stuff. You got the floating Shatner's head. Yeah, I mean, this is what you Trekkies love, right?
Bottom of a
That's what you guys get all excited about. These Trekkie love here. And who the hell knows what's going on in this book at all? It's supposed to be sci-fi. You know, if you got it, it's cold outside. You know, there's a fishing tournament going on my lake. You can start a fire with this thing.
Wow.
Yeah, Shatner's always bad. And then this is not a joke, dude. This is Rooster Teeth. This is
Is this what they this is what they based the new movie off of?
So this isn't a joke. This is actually a book. Let me choke because it's so bad. Okay, now, in the defense of Robin here, she does draw in an alien style. I've seen her art before. She's never drawn anything this poorly. The hygienes are ridiculous. I don't know what the hell she was thinking. And a lot of other artists did too.
It looks like she needs to go to Jenny Craig.
Yeah, but this is the problem. She has other art that she's done before that looks more woman empowering Wonder Woman-esque than this. I don't know what this is, and a lot of artists did either because they redid it. I should pull up all the renderings, but a lot of people re-render this to make it look a lot better.
You
she
know,
should have thought
every
about it.
woman has that pair of jeans that doesn't make her look good, and Wonder Woman happened to wear hers on this cover.
Well, okay, this is supposed to
Look,
be like I think she's supposed to do the style of like the high hip, like mom jeans that are supposedly popular at this point. Except for that, like, what the hell is Wonder Woman wearing mom jeans? Whatever, man. It's garbage. Luckily, it was like an exclusive cover, so
I like it. Just have a shitty one little like slit in it.
I think they're already trying to sell them for 50 cents. Like the prices dropped so much on this book that they've already dropped it to 50 cents on the interwebs. You have to pay more in shipping than the book actually costs. And this, so we're talking back to, I was going to do a little bit more of the Silver Age stuff. Teenage Love actually has some real good covers in it, and some decent artists that go through it. This is not one of them. First off, whatever that pedophile with the purple eyeshadow is going Now, if you're familiar with Silver Age love mags, then you know that sometimes they're not, even its teenage love isn't always such teenagers. Sometimes it's in their 20s, but never is there like creepy old dude with the purple thing and I know they're trying to do the pop culture thing in this, but it really didn't work. And then with some young thing, it's kind of almost on that petty type thing. Like, it's really creepy. One of the worst covers you see, because it's not just like, what the bleep went on here, but also at the same time, like, ooh, it's just not right. Like, this isn't a good look. Not a good look. And that's it. So I hope I put some different stuff out there. I know I did it easy because you got to throw Rob under the bus to start it off. But anytime you can put Shatner in a crap list, I'm all for it. So there you go.
Look, I don't care what anyone says. I can get behind body positive Wonder Woman.
That's not even what this is. That's not even like
Thick thighs saves lives, gentlemen.
yeah, but that's not no. Like if that's what it was, like I could do that. Like if it was like, okay, woman power, I'm not gonna grab that one. I understand that. If you check out her other art, that ain't what it is. She went out there just like, I'm gonna throw up some shit and see if somebody will actually buy
Just
it.
to see what happens.
Yeah, just to see what happens. That's what she did. Like, let's be real. She threw up some shit.
Solo, let's see your list.
Oh, you want to do Solo next?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get to Solo.
Let's get the Star Wars boys out of the way.
There's Solo's number 5.
Fun. Holy crap. Where do you even start with Morbius? I mean,
I like that he smoked too much weed. He's got
If
cat
you're-
eyes.
13, 14 years old, you're on point. You're almost there. You're getting there. This is good artwork for you at the age, of early teen, like, 10 to 13. You're working on it. You're getting your form down. I understand. And this is good, solid work. If you're a grown ass adult and you're putting this on the cover of a book, you should be fired and quartered and drawn. This is terrible. I don't even know what editor, what chief. They should draw and quarter him too. Whoever thought of putting Morbius, the living vampire, number 2 on the cover, just end him. Just end him. I mean, save the comic community and say no. Just bad.
And
Now, I
here
don't know
thought
how
we were
this
pro
one slipped
editors
past
today.
the editors.
Oh, yeah, like has got that Edward Scissorhands thing
I
going.
mean, it must have been the same editors doing duty, Not playing.
All right, number 4.
Oh,
A little more Rob
Yep.
love.
Same
come
match.
on.
See, I
Floating
thought
head
Rob
was-
Liefeld was just too easy.
It
Totally.
is, and I tried to stay away from doing a Liefeld because it was so easy, but there's so many I just can't stomach. And when he does Captain America, he just comes out and people are like, there's no way you can F this up. And he's like, hold my beer. And he jumps in full force and he's like, I'm going to put abs and just like Marco said, abs and pecs on pecs with abs and pouches and stupid with overdrawn chest parts and then no body parts and then misproportioned on top of
The floating head.
just,
floating head.
floating
Go
head,
Patrick.
in
Head.
place.
And a knee.
Just no. Just no.
Dude, I would love to sit down with Rob Liefeld and just ask, and not in a bad way, the fuck goes through your head when you draw covers? Like, what was your mindset when you were doing this?
Apparently, he never
Where
opened
were
up a
you?
book either because he draws terrible interiors too.
Yeah, like at what point did he go, yeah, this is a winner, ship it? Yeah, I mean, look at it looks like he's trying to take a crap and his foot's coming out. Look at the smirk on his lips are all pursed up. I mean, he's force pushing the hell out of that turd and he just isn't going to make it.
He's
Like,
pushing
take a
so hard, he's
laxative.
got collarbone definition. Like, that's insane.
Right? Like it's,
Like, what?
you
I would love to ask Rob. And I
Airboy,
know I've
think
already
so.
pissed him off before in the past, but because we are friends. But like, what are you thinking when you draw this? Like, it's like when you're in a band when you're a kid and all your friends go to see you and they say you're awesome,
yeah.
which really suck.
And the
This
worst
is
thing
what-
is that you know it.
This is what Rob Liefeld is. He has too many friends that say, Rob, you're such a good artist when you make covers.
And-
Love it. Like he must show every cover to his mom, and his mom goes, Rob, you're so good at drawing. I
In
love how
all
you draw feet.
respect, Rob, you can still draw better than I can. So with a do, I will hit number 3.
I don't think so.
This cover. I
This looks like a copy and paste cover.
it is. They take and they cut it's Spider-Man and Captain America, Marvel team up, 129, and they take a photo of Spidey, take a photo of Captain in, I mean, really bad 1960s, early 70s spandex, and then just cut and paste on a picture of New York downtown Manhattan. I mean, it is terrible. There's a Shazam cover that's not as bad, and they did something similar, but it played well. This is just bad. I mean,
I know it is, but I kind of like it because it reminds me of the TV shows, right?
yeah,
Like when Captain America had the freaking motorcycle, and
yeah,
it was bad. Don't get me wrong, but
Spider-Man.
and I believe that this came out about that time, so I'm sure it was very, promotional for the TV shows, and the Electric Company was out at that time, which was airing all the Spider-Man. Yeah, I just dated myself.
Yeah, a little bit. Sorry.
And Electric Company was kind of like a Sesame Street, but a little more jazzy. And they aired Spider-Man. You'll see it on some of the Spider-Man books. Anyway, I can't get behind this cover. It's so drastically different from the backdrop to the front that it's just not right.
There you go. Just not.
It's just not right.
Just not right.
The chat just went speechless.
what's his next? What's number 2? I want to see what number 2.
Number 2.
Solo's number 2.
It's Venom.
Definitely. This is definitely this is number 2, and someone stuck their hand on it and smeared it all over and then shipped it. The Mighty Thor, where only Thor can have teardrops coming out of his crotch on his thighs. Like it's just terrible. Like, you got Norris God, and you've just decimated every body muscle on this character. There's more fake muscle on this person than I think you can actually ever even over exaggeratingly exist. It is terrible.
This cover looks like one of my sorry ass photoshops, because like the dude's just so straight faced. He's got such a small head for such a massive body.
Right? He's got this.
And his teardrop thighs.
Yeah, teardrops on his thighs for muscles. He's got muscle on
Dude,
top
he
of
made
muscle
sure
on top of muscle, and
that
then,
leg day was fucking epic.
right?
Yes, he did.
He did not skip leg day.
No, he did not. He went twice a day.
Or
Twice or 3 times a day.
his lats
My
are.
legs are so badass, they're tears
I
running
think
down.
all Thor did was go to the gym and work on lats and legs, specifically thighs. Like, his calves aren't even there. He's got little chicken calves on these giant teardrop thighs. Oh, it's not good. It's just bad.
And then number 1.
Ah,
You've got
this is on my
to
list
be
too.
kidding me.
Who the fuck is flying that ship?
Who the fuck printed this book?
Who is flying the Millennium Falcon right now? Because I know it's not who you think it is.
If you ever draw Chewbacca like this in all of time,
Chewbacca,
I should just punch you in the face.
You know, they drew Chewbacca to look like,
I mean,
Sasquatch.
Yeah, and
Like
Princess
he'd be
Leia.
jerky.
Princess Leia looks like an alien. I mean, what?
Her eyes look like
happened?
they're running away from her nose.
There's clearly
And that's
a foot and a half between
that's
her
Han
eyeballs.
Solo's cousin, Fat Solo.
And yeah, he looks.
You know how when you see the sketches, you used to see a lot like the Kubrick stuff in the back where they start off and they do those line things to round out the face. It looks like they left those in and never filled out the rest of it. Like, yeah, you're not supposed to leave your sketch lines to line up where the nose is supposed to be and your cheekbones are supposed to be and where the center of your face is supposed to be.
Shade Layla's forehead.
What forehead?
It she got this. Oh, it's just bad. The shadow on her nose, the I mean, C-3PO is the best drawn thing in the whole damn book cover,
It's not that good.
and it's not winning any awards by any means. The parts are in the wrong place. The hands, it just is not.
Hey, he didn't miss chest day. C-3PO
Yeah,
buffed up.
C-3PO's got big red boobs. It's just.
Bro, he's a professional wrestler, brother. Look at that. He's got his pecs. He's got his world title on. Like he's ready to go.
Han Solo put on a lot of weight in the face.
Yeah,
Ham
Han
Solo. Did you just call him Ham Solo?
Yep.
Yeah. Han Solo's got jawline for days. I mean, he looks.
Ham Solo.
Just,
That's great.
It's
I mean,
just wrong.
He needs to go see that Wonder Woman from Wonder Woman 84 in that last cover.
man.
You can see why the weekly wars never really took
The
off.
two of them need an intervention.
C-3PO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my
See Beefy
five.
up in there.
Who's up next?
You
Kyle?
can do me, yeah.
I mean, okay. Cool.
All right. So
Corbin, you haven't been on for a while. We're gonna make you closer. We're gonna make you closer to number one.
So coming
Because
in-
I'm glad you're
I
here.
figured yours were better, but I appreciate you.
coming in at number 5 for Kyle.
Hey, why we gotta do that though?
What the?
Why
So we
No,
got Batman Rebirth number
Listen.
7, the A cover.
I knew somebody was gonna put that one too.
The fuck.
That was one of the early ones. I remember that. Good storyline.
What is that?
It's
Good storyline.
terrible, is what it is.
It's a good
Fucking
story.
terrible.
You just gotta get past the cover.
Why is it that the best thing in this cover are the Batman and Batwoman symbols?
Because that's all that person knew how to do. Hey, that Nightwing's not too bad, right?
No, Nightwing's terrible.
No, this is all garbage. This is
The
trash.
whole thing is garbage. It's terrible. It's,
All right.
Is that a bloody nose? What's going on there? Or what?
It's the monster man.
it looks like he lost his nose and he lost his upper lip, so you're seeing bloody gum.
All right,
Lord.
whatever. That's bad.
If you say so.
It's
That is.
Number
terrible.
4 for Kyle.
Rod Stewart. That's not. All these rock and roll covers. They're
horrible.
they're horrible. But when I found Rod Stewart,
Yeah, that's a winner.
it was a toss up between Rod Stewart and the AC/DC cover.
I don't know. The Metallica and the Megadeth aren't much better. They're pretty bad.
None of them, but like that doesn't look like Rod Stewart. He's on a can of beer.
I think somebody definitely did.
That's
that.
what I think about
Maybe.
Rod Stewart is a can of beer. Like that's I think Rod Stewart. I'm like, yeah, a can of beer. Yeah. What?
It's everything is bad about this
Let's say
cover.
genuine rub.
I think it says R&B.
Oh well, yeah, whatever.
And Rod isn't much of an R&B.
No, he looks like
No,
he's
I
off
wouldn't.
the Tiger King on this one. It just is.
Yeah, he was
Not good.
the other husband.
But like you said, there's
The unspoken of husband. Of
There's nothing good about the rock and roll covers, and I do own a few.
oh.
So, okay, number 3. These, I really wanted to do 5 Star Wars covers just for Solo and Marco. Because there's
You're
so
out there,
many.
you can do it.
There's so many. I originally did 5 Star Wars covers because they're all terrible. But this one right here and it goes with the same thing as who the fuck do they have draw these things? Who is that?
God, they were.
Who is it?
What's his name? I can't remember. He did a lot of them. Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't know.
his art.
Exactly.
He definitely has a certain style to him. Let me put it that way.
There you go. I'll go with that.
And it just goes with the same thing. It's just terrible.
He's also cranky and crotchety. Not happy.
It's bad. Number 2. What happened to Spider-Man's neck? It's broke. It's broke. He's doing
Doc
the
Ock
fucking-
finally got to him.
He's doing the thing from The Exorcist. It's starting to turn around. Like, look at his fingers. Why is it like there's something wrong, dude? He's got an infection. His fingers are swollen up. He needs to chill with some antibiotics.
This one looks like a wiener.
Peanut allergy.
It is. He's swelling up.
Look at his thigh, just shooting off to the left, pointing for
It
no
almost
reason.
looks like a
just-
boner. It just, I don't know. There's just too
Is that
much.
reflection? And they tried to do reflection for some. What the hell?
It's just
Like, look at his left
bad.
leg. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
It's
it's a
a mirror.
reflection. He's on the window of a building.
I 100% agree with Patrick right here.
Yes. He did not draw this.
The
well.
nicest guy in the world, but his Spider-Man his art is not that great.
He does some good art, but this is clunky and it's not like it's not proportionate. It's just not good. So I don't know. And the whole neck thing, like it reminds me of that Peach Momoko stretch neck thing, and it
Yeah.
that's not a superpower. It's fucking neck stretch guy. And I just, man, fuck. So you can go ahead and go to number 1. It's the same one as Solos because it's bad.
It's so bad.
It's terrible. We already made fun of it enough. It's cool. We're gonna go past it.
It is the same style that Solo Wookiee is getting a tattoo of.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Spider-Man. I'm telling you,
It's so new
is an
school.
art
It's
It's
that
new
new school. Yeah, it just
Yeah,
screams
it's all
new school to me.
school.
It screams, it reeks of it.
You want me to go next, and we'll save Corbin for last?
Of
How
course.
we do? What's that about?
You haven't been here in a while. We're gonna give you the honor
okay.
of going last.
Hey, y'all.
That's
are
why
great.
you got,
Okay.
in this lineup of all-stars, that's why you got the number 1 jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Saving
guys are
best
so
for
nice.
last.
But see, by the time you get to mine, like half of them have already been discussed. But let's get
We
it.
can do you next if you want.
No, let's get yours.
Matt would love to do you next.
Yep. All right. So coming in at number 5 for
Matt
me,
just kept right on moving with that one. I love it.
Batman 495.
Matt's like, yep, sure thing. Next to number
So
5.
I
Yeah.
like the bro fist Poison Ivy's given.
Oh,
What's up with Batman's ears? What?
a lot of the
wrong.
Batman Nightfall run, it's like all of the regular cover artists took a vacation because like the artwork for many of those titles, it didn't matter if it was Batman, Shadow of the Bat, Detective Comics, Catwoman, Azrael, it didn't matter. Like whoever was doing the cover artist artwork for any of those titles between like 93 and 95 was just strung out.
His pecs look like they're crying.
Well,
His
at
waist-
least it looks like he has a beer belly above his abs.
His waist is clearly right here, but his belt is way down here.
At least he has detail in his chest. Look at her pants. Like there's not a single drop of detail in her pants
Yeah,
and legs
but
at
There's
all.
no
It's
ass.
just
Or
his
it-
shadow. Bright
His
green,
arm looks
limelight
like-
green shadow.
A thigh. Like it looks like his kneecap should be right here.
It does look like.
Yeah, what happened to his
You
cape?
know?
Like
Yes.
it like disappears.
So is his other leg between her legs? Like his
Yes.
leg?
Yep. But I like
That's
how
not
his
rock.
his thigh goes skinny, then just boom, massive.
Yeah.
Well, considering his thighs are bigger than the tree he's stuck on, why doesn't he
Right.
just stand the bleep up?
It just came out of nowhere. It was like Shazam! 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 That's what it
I
just speaks
I
out
can't
like
get
that.
over the fact that his pecs are crying and they look like a face. Like there's the eyes, the nose, the mouth. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Number
that's
4,
cover.
Robbie L. Youngbloods. You know, say it with your chest. Everybody knows.
Muscles on muscles on muscles is the way to go.
How
Yeah.
can you be so round with so many muscles? Like it's just you can't be a bubble with muscles. Like it just is. Come on.
The
The
sad fact
anatomy
is he
escapes.
drew the cap cover and he was like, "That's sweet. Yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna do it again." He drew it.
And then it's like I just give up on drawing hands.
Yeah.
By the way, and actually any type of arm, it's just now one big chunk of rock. Yeah, it's bad.
Wow.
Number 3, Exiles. What is this?
I don't know. I'm just not down with the stretch neck.
No, and then like
It's also,
he's-
what is it? Yeah.
his mouth is coming through his mask.
It's like he
like
became
his
one with the
teeth.
suit.
Well, if
Like
my
a
neck
Venom-
was
like a
stretched that
symbiote,
big
yeah.
too, I think my mouth would be coming through the mask as well.
It almost looks like he's about to get punched in the rectum by Spider-Man 2099 and he's just bracing for it.
Punched in the rectum.
That's what it looks like.
You want to take a superhero out? You give him one of them old rectum punches, and they'll just.
How you gonna do that to old Chris Claremont,
There
man?
you
How you
go.
gonna
Rectum. Damn near killed him.
Yeah. I don't know. And his arrow's pointing the way.
It's bad.
Pointing the way home.
His eyes
And
and mouth
it's
and
McClane to
everything
save the
coming
day.
straight
Yeah.
through the mask.
Brian's like,
Oh,
this has gone on long enough.
I'm here to save the day.
Number 2, Action Comics.
What is he doing to that little boy?
That poor child.
Oh,
He's gonna have to cry into his pillow as he's
That poor
being
child.
saved by Superman.
Oh my gosh.
I think that covers. I don't need to. It explains itself. My number 1, a Walking Dead number 1, Gilbert Hernandez variant cover.
what the hell is that? I have never seen that in my life. That is horrid, straight garbage. What the? Oh, jeez.
I don't know.
Wow.
I can't believe that. I don't know how that passed everything. Hey man, you did a great job on that. Thanks.
Oh Lord, that's funny.
That's a cover made for radio.
It's because
really
he's a
is.
special. He's a legacy creator, right? Because of what he did in the past, they let him get away with terrible art.
Dude, Robert Kirkman should have been like, "Whoa, buddy." I know.
Do you know how many covers they made for those Wizard World variants? There must be 50 of them, right? I think I have 50 of them.
Right?
They did like 50 different covers. I don't think Kirkman saw half of them.
Yeah, I don't think.
Look at
he just picked up one stack and said, "These ones are all good." Publish away.
Yeah, look at the girl in the back with the Charlie Brown shirt. Great point.
Just fit everything in there.
Like that's looks like the doodles on my notebook in junior high.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I actually saw the first time I saw this cover was in the back of one of the new Walking Dead re-releases in color. And I was like, what the hell is that? I had never seen that cover before. Like, it's terrible.
It looks like a sketch.
A
It
bad one.
doesn't look like a real cover. It looks like a sketch cover.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but it sadly it's definitely
You
real.
know what? Go back to that action one, Matt.
The Superman.
The Superman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I disagree with you on this one. I don't think this is a horrible cover. I think this is a great, hilarious cover. This art isn't bad. And this is just funnier and shit.
No,
I
it just
love
looks like that
covers
kid's
like
gonna
this.
Get railed.
Yeah,
I wouldn't collect.
that's why I put it on it because it looks like the kid's about to get it.
You're right, but I love these innuendo covers, like the Archie innuendo covers, the pearl necklace cover. I have to beat 3 other guys off to get like that type of cover. Have you not seen those covers?
It's the way
awesome.
you said that. I'm sorry. No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Look up
The innuendo is what I'm not a fan of,
Archie innuendo covers. Like they are crazy, and that's what this is. I actually own like 3 of these just to fucking have as gags to be like, this is hilarious.
Yeah,
This is absolutely hilarious. But I'm glad you
man.
picked it. It's a
It
good
almost
one.
looks like he's just finished, but anyways.
Well, I like how it almost looks like there's a fan right here blowing his shirt off. Like he's like, you're about ready to get this. We're gonna hit this home.
Come fly with me. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I'm sorry.
Did you do a list, Brian, or no?
No, I do have one thing I can talk about. One thing that I don't think a lot of people know about. Do you guys know what this is?
Oh, the greatest magazine ever?
Well,
the
it is the greatest magazine ever. But do you know what this particular one is?
No.
This
Missing that
is the origin.
Good read for number 2.
This is the origin of the greatest Rob Liefeld image ever.
cover. Really?
Yep. It was never a cover.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Say it with your chest.
Wow.
It was in this issue of Wizard, and it was
almost-
when Heroes Reborn was first
Was the
getting
concept.
started.
Yep. Yes.
That's why they're on the cover there.
Yes.
So
I almost
Yo, that's
picked
what's
that,
up, man.
that picture, and I didn't because it wasn't truly a cover.
yeah, it's not a cover. It was only in this, so you guys can see that. So I figured I'd bust that out and let you guys know about that. That's a little piece of comics history right there.
Yes, sir. Love it. Love it. That's what's up.
That's the OG Captain
Yeah.
All right.
America Liefeld chest. Like, that's the real deal. Just pec implant way gone
Yep.
wrong.
All right, we saved the best for last. Coming off the bench.
I guess
Number 24 in your playbook. Number 1 in your heart. We got Corbin coming in.
Hey,
Number 5.
All right. So number 5 was, I think this was a Flash 343. This is by Carmine Infantino. This is part of the Trial of the Flash storyline, which, like, the story was all right. But what I don't like about this cover is that, you know, the Flash, he's comforting her, and it just seems like the hand from, like, down under is trying to get some action. If you look at, like, where its placement is on this, like, it just has her entire backside. And it was just an interesting one for me. I laughed entirely too hard at this, and now I'm like, after you guys have had all the great bad covers, I don't think it's that great. But for me, it's like she's getting groped by this hand, like it is directly on top of her ass, and
I'm
that
dead,
was
but
my
I'm
number 5 for
horny.
me. Exactly, exactly. That's my number 5. All right, on to the next one. Number 4.
Do you, real quick,
Yes.
do you know that Carmine Infantino is also considered the greatest Flash artist ever?
You know what's funny? No, I didn't. I mean, I didn't realize. Like, I could see why. I think when I think of the modern day Flash work, I'm definitely in the '90s with that. But like, I'm with you on like.
Yeah, it
did a
looks
lot
like
of
he
the
phoned that
signature
one
stuff.
in. He definitely phoned that one in, right?
Yeah, you know, it was just a funny, like, the placement of it. It made a number 5 for me. I wanted to get one that was different. I imagined that we all were gonna have Iris Westwood. You have to bring it back. Exactly. You just got to come back for some action on that. So. That's why. But yeah, for the most part, no. He definitely was that classic Flash, right up until Crisis?
Yeah.
This was the last storyline before Crisis anyway. So, yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Number 4, if I remember, that was Namor, the Submariner 26 by Jay Lee. I'm not sure what's going on here. I mean, the pecs they're speaking, they're calling out loud. Almost remind me of my own. But aside from that, like, you got these weird, you got these, like, I don't know. It's just so, like, what is going on with the face? Like, I'm not sure what's going on with the face. It's like this almost feline type of snarl deal going on. It's way pointed. It's just, it's signature 90s. It's signature 90s.
Dude, he had a run of like 5 or 6 covers that are this. I mean, they're all bad. The Savage.
Yeah.
It was his earliest art. This is like,
Yeah.
I think he started on. This is like his second thing that he ever worked on. So yeah, it's not good.
The whole jock deal, the jock strap, like it's all like it's very pointed. Like, it's just a mess. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. Yeah, that was number 4.
His thighs are all shadowed out on the bottom.
Yeah,
Boy,
exactly.
They highlighted that little,
exactly.
cloth
Yep.
in his speedo is
his
awful
little
bright.
his little mini submariner. You know, it's there. It's there. It's there. All right. Number 3, you know, Catwoman. This is issue 0 by Gilliam March. Just like what is going on with Cat? And this is like the one of 2 covers I have by her. But like, when you mess up Catwoman covers, you usually do by doing the classic, especially with female anatomy, where you do it in ways we've seen it with Spider-Man stuff too. It's just so extra. Just what is going on here? Like, the butt is where the back should be, and it's just crunched up and curved, and it's busting through a hole, or is the hole busting through? It's a mess.
One bubble for her butt. It's her left cheek is like
exactly.
A bubble,
and the other one looks like it could be her
non-existent.
Exactly. It's a lot going on, and it's going on all the wrong places. Just
isn't this also a 300 homage cover?
I feel like it is.
Corbin coming back doing a twofer. 2 for 1.
What? Oh,
and we did homage, the Spider-Man 301 homage cover.
You know, I had to swing it out. No, exactly. No, I had no clue. But yeah, like, it was just a mess. I mean, the minute it came out, it was a mess, and it's classic for that. All right, number 2. Same thing. Yeah, I already covered everything I was going to say. Francisco Herrera, he did it. That was the only other context I wanted to add to that. Just pretty ugly. And it's been talked about enough, so I'm going to go straight to number 1. Number 1, Kelly Jones, man. I'm not a fan of Kelly Jones' art in general. I mean, a lot of what he did with Doug Mensch in recreating Batman or making it more of its gothic type of roots, incorporating some of those horror-esque elements, Swamp Thing, you know, a lot of his writing. In fact, I think it's Batman 503. I'm going to butcher this. Anyway, he has one of my favorite Mr. Freeze stories, just how ghoulish and dark and cool it ultimately is. But Kelly Jones had a lot of misses. His art was an acquired taste for me, and this one was just rough for me. It was almost like, for one, it looks like she got Depends on underneath that costume. Like, if you look in,
baby got back.
Like, exactly. For two, if you think about it, I mean, for me, every time I see it, it's almost like Kelly Jones was like thinking of Lily Tomlin in this, and like, how could he make Catwoman look like Lily Tomlin, or like the two of them mix, like the actors behind Miss Frizzle take that. It's just all bad and all. I don't get it.
That's thigh to butt cheek transition right there
but like,
is all wrong.
Also, it's all wrong because it's something. It's like it went flat on you. Like there's no bounce to that bubble.
No,
it's just it's like a flat soda right there.
All the
You
bounce
know,
is in the thigh. Look at how big that thigh is.
It was a
and
long
then
ass
just
day.
curves right up into flat.
Also, like, and this is not even about the art, but since I'm already here, like the whole Night Quest run, which was John Paul Valley's run as Batman, was like some of my favorite stories and also some of the weird ones because they couldn't find like an ideal like villain for Valley to face, and so they kept doing these rotating cast of Batman cast-offs, and this one was especially weird because they were kind of teasing at John Paul Valley's like attraction to Catwoman, but also inability to get anything off. It was just really weird. But this cover highlighted that for me. Yeah, the whole butt thigh ratio, the face. What is going on here? What is going on? And then if you look at John Paul Valley, like, what do we see there? It's like he canned that one in. It's just cape, and it's a lot of it, and it doesn't even match with the outfit that he wore at the time, where the cape was definitely less billowy. So that's my number one.
There you go.
Is that
There it
supposed
is.
to be Batman behind her?
Yes,
Our top 5
that's the John Paul Valley Batman.
That's terrible.
worst
Yes,
covers in comics, in our opinions. Great stuff. Corbin coming in strong and finishing strong.
Awesome
what are
list,
we?
everybody?
What are we gonna do next
I
show, Kyle?
appreciate it.
I don't know. We'll have to discuss it later.
Okay.
Drum roll. Oh,
But last but not
Stay
least,
tuned, I guess.
man, I think the newest episode of WandaVision was probably
Yo.
like it was really putting all the pieces together, and like I've said and Matt said before, like what we said at episode 1 is wait it out, and you can tell Disney is doing what Disney does well, and WandaVision has taken shape.
Well, not only that, it's not only given shape to WandaVision, it's given shape to all of Marvel going forward, because what they're creating here is going to be the storyline for every project in Marvel in the next 4 or 5 years, right? It's all going to be this thing that Wanda has started. It's going to go into Multiversity of Madness. It's going to go into Spider-Verse. It's going to go into all that stuff. And they have been setting it that's what is so important to me, is thinking about, they've been writing this for years now, and they knew they were going to do this. So that's what's cool, to me, that especially when you see that old WandaVision, or that old interview with Elizabeth Olsen, and she's talking about what she wishes she could see as a Wanda story. And she's talking about House of M and her going crazy, and her wanting, she loves that storyline when Wanda goes crazy because they give they take her babies away, and when she take her babies away, she goes fucking psycho and blips everybody. That was a crazy moment, and those two moments during this episode, and that being seen again for me, I agree, Kyle. It was game over, man. Game over.
It's definitely. I was happy that. This, in my opinion, was the best one so far, because they finally gave her a chance. If they'd have just done it in the first one or first two, they finally showed how badass she is. Like when she comes out and she tells them, and they've got her at gunpoint, and she's just like, you know what? Just leave me alone.
I love how
I
her
like that they
accent
waited.
came back.
Actually, I like that they waited.
I love how her accent came back. Did you notice that? When she's outside of there, everybody was complaining, "Oh, why doesn't she have her Russian accent?"
Well, now welcome back. Yeah, exactly. You said it. Yep.
Yeah, when she comes out, cool. She's just like, "Don't fuck with me. Just don't. I'm warning you right now. Don't do it."
I like the tension with Monica when Captain Marvel came up, and how that could tie into play in the future one, because it does look like Captain Marvel bailed while her best friend, and of course Monica growing up knowing this and their relationship there, how that fell apart while she's fighting cancer and Captain Marvel's away, and how that frayed relationship will obviously spin into just both of their futures. And that was intriguing to kind of have that moment where it wasn't like stressed to the point of like this, but you could tell, like you got like, okay, cool.
So that scene has kind of an Easter egg in it, I think. Do you think that you're getting your first glimpse that she's going to become Photon in this? Because that whole like her scan's not showing anything, and
it's intriguing in terms of you're right. Like it's
100%. That's how she got her powers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
When they kicked her out of there, when she went in there, that's how she got her powers. That's how she became Spectrum, or because wasn't her mom Photon, so she's gonna be Spectrum.
We're just skipping that, going to Spectrum.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that makes sense. You're right, and like I think you're right. That's a heck of a tease. It was just a lot to unpack in that one, and you could tell as you're watching, oh, this is different, especially going the back and forth, because I'm sure most people, I know I did, expect us to go, okay, we had our outside the bubble look, and now we're going back in for the entire episode, and now you get the mix. And another thing, that whole scene where Agnes just says, should we take it from the top, was so jarring in how it happened. You're watching and then boom, you just go, oh, this is off. And it really ties into what we all already think, which is Agnes is kind of in on it because she's just playing along, or at least it feels that way, because she's like, oh yeah, something, should we do this again? This isn't going the way I know you want it to go.
Do you guys think that Wanda really doesn't know what's truly going on? Like, she doesn't know why she just knows that it feels good, right? She doesn't know why she started it or what is causing her to do this, because the kids, there's something obviously going on there. And I know if you read those old, West Coast Avengers stories and the Avenger runs, the Agatha Harkness Avenger runs, it's basically this storyline. Do you think that that's what the kids are? That's why she can't have any powers over the kids, because they're products of Mephisto.
I absolutely think so.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And I think that, Agatha is Agatha Harkness, and we're seeing that because you see Wanda just start openly doing magic in front of her. And the kids are aware of what's going on, and the kids, they have the ability to, it seems like, counteract or go against her will and age themselves up.
I don't think they go against. I just think her magic doesn't affect them.
Yeah, that's exactly
it's
it.
Not that it's going against it just doesn't affect them, so they could they are more aware of what is actually going on.
Or they're not her power that is created them. Her power has created everybody else basically, or is making everybody do their thing. And somebody is using her to do this, So I don't know. I think that's what she basically said it in that interview. It's crazy to just go back and look at that stuff and, see that they were talking about this a long time ago. And this is 100% their MacGuffin, right? Isn't that what a MacGuffin is? Like in every movie, there's that one thing that ties everything together, or that happens, that has to happen. That's just like way out of character. That would never happen, but it has to happen in order to get the storyline across.
Keep it moving.
That's what Wanda going crazy is, because it opens up the multiverse. It brings in the mutants. The continuity gets all put together in one. Now everything that's ever been in Marvel is continuity is basically in play. They can pick and pull, just like they did when they brought the Ultimate Verse into the Marvel, into the 616. So it's exciting, man. It's super exciting.
Well, yeah. And then Vita Raid she says she doesn't remember how it all started. So that tells you that there's another force at work. And like the whole like speech she has at the end with the boys about bringing Sparky back to life, and that you can't bring people back from the dead.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you see that whole clip of her breaking in. Before I see that whole clip of her breaking into Sword and stealing Vision's body. And it's just, you could tell that I definitely think you're onto something that, like, we've all been onto something, that there's another force at play here that we haven't seen yet. And I actually think Mephisto is Agatha's husband, because she makes weird comments about her husband, but you have not seen him in the show yet.
Very true.
We would just see him already. Like, give us a glimpse, give us a peek.
I bet it's the last episode.
Ah, Jesus, I'd be so pissed. I'll be livid.
I'm just bummed that they're only like 33 minutes, kind of like how Mandalorian is. There's like these last couple of episodes have been written so well that when it's done, you're like, crap. Why couldn't it just be 10 minutes longer? Just give us a little bit more.
Yeah. What's pissing me off, I feel like I'm watching a Betness green screen because I'm trying to place every one of the houses that they walk up to because the interior is different from the exterior.
They mix them. So like this one, they mixed with 3 different shows.
Was
So
Family Ties,
interior, but what's the first house they show? Like the preview of
Full
the house.
So they did 3 shows in this one. They did Family Ties, Full House, and one more.
Growing Pains.
Growing Pains.
Yep.
No, not Growing Pains.
Yeah, growing the whole like watercolor painting, that was definitely Family Ties. And then the showing of the pictures of them now and as younger, that's definitely Growing Pains.
Growing Pains, yep.
And then where they're running up the hill and playing outside and sitting on the picnic with the house behind them, that's Full House.
Yep. But the house, when they start the show, the first picture of the outside of the house when they're walking up, that's a different house from every episode. Like last time it was the Partridge Family's house. Then you see the inside and it's the Brady
Every
Bunch
house has been different.
And right. So what is this damn house? Because I can't remember. And if I remember correctly, it's the little robot girl's house. Remember that in the 80s, there was this show about a little girl and she was a robot and they lived a life together. What the hell was it? Because I can't remember. And I can't remember if that's the house. I think it is. And I can't find it anywhere, which house that one is.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember that show.
JJ says she watched too much TV in the 70s, but wasn't she born in like 95?
Yeah.
Well, no, they set the age for her. What is 2021 in that one?
No wonder.
Or 2022. So they set her to be 34 in this one because she was born 89 according to the universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well,
so like some of the stuff predates.
That final doorbell ring proved the multiverse stuff. It's 100% proved it. I mean,
coming in with this thick, looking like Uncle Jesse with this thick like accent, like a thick like New York accent.
I love how they made it look like Pietro from behind.
Yeah, that was a good bury the lead. Yeah,
yeah.
I was like, that's not Kick-Ass. That's Kick-Ass's friend.
Yes, it was Kick-Ass's friend. I like the whole Scarlet Witch talk too, how they were asking if she has any silly code name and he was like nope. So I think she teased Elizabeth Olsen teased that there's going to be a big Luke Skywalker and the Mandalorian moment coming, and I think that is going to be Doctor Strange.
Yeah, we already know Doctor Strange is in here. They already said he is.
Cool.
I think that it's good. That's how she's going to get the whole Scarlet Witch thing. So I think she's by the end of the series, Mephisto's going to take everything away from her. She's going to break. Strange is going to show up, and he's going to take her on as an apprentice to take her to try and fix the multiverse, and that's where she's going to get the Scarlet Witch moniker. Yeah.
So not only is Strange in this, she's in Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I know that was confirmed.
So.
Yeah, that's going to be for sure. For sure, how that ties in will be interesting. But also, who did you think Darcy was referring to when she was talking about the astrophysics that she knew?
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, Reed Richards.
I was thinking that, but then how does that already establish outside of what's being addressed in this bubble? Because I know that WandaVision was supposed to be the first thing released, so maybe there was like a teaser or something.
What about
beforehand?
Jane Foster wasn't an astrophysicist, was she?
No.
Well, that's why I thought I was with you. At first, my mind went to that.
It's Reed Richards. 100% Reed Richards.
It's got to be Reed Richards.
Yeah. It's so weird though. That's what I mean though. But if that's the case, then he just hasn't been incorporated in terms of his powers yet. Like there's no way that she knows about. You know what I mean? Like the tie-in that she knows about him, but basically we don't. You know. It seems like a tease for something that either hasn't happened yet, which is what I was leaning to, but obviously, if she's referring to him, then he's already known quantity. So is it just something that hasn't been referred to outside of this WandaVision that we're in? That's what I'm curious about.
You know what's going to suck is that we're not going to get Vision anymore. This is the last. I hope that they bring back Vision. I hope that Vision comes back as the White Vision. That would be badass. Because I like Vision and I like Paul Bettany playing Vision. There was a moment in this one where he gets angry and he gets really fucking dude, his acting in that moment. If you guys Paul Bettany's one of my favorite all-time actors. He's in this movie called Gangster #1 and another one called Wild Things or Wild Things, fucking one of the most dark, evil, like roles. He is fucking an asshole in one and just super scary in the other. And he did that. There's a moment in this episode where he just went really angry and he was screaming at her, and just the emotion on his face was like, holy shit, dude, he's a bad.
Yeah, when she's trying to end the episode and roll the credits, and he's like, no, and flips out on her. Yeah, it was good.
That was nice. That scene was, exactly.
I like Kat Dennings too. I think she's great, man. She's a great comedic foil for this episode.
Everything about her is awesome.
Yeah,
I just like did she just recast Pietro?
Yeah,
like, that was good. But I think that again shows what you were talking about before, Mephisto, because she says when the doorbell rings, Vision's like, why are you doing this? She's like, I'm not doing this. This wasn't me. I have no idea what this is. And then it's her brother, and she's definitely like distraught and taken back by it.
Yeah, because the weird thing is, how does she know it's her brother other than
yeah,
because that's a different dude. It's not Kick-Ass.
Oh yeah, it's his best friend. You already established that. But it's I told Corbin. Corbin was like, I need to talk to somebody about this. So we're messaging back and forth. I was like, he's like, do you think he's here to stay? I was like, absolutely. This is that Don Cheadle moment. This is that Next Time Baby moment where they're just gonna replace Aaron Taylor Johnson with this dude and it not look back. So
I mean, it's a great way to do it. It just solidifies, you know what I mean? It just, this is the dude that's going to be doing it, and that's it.
And it, to me, honestly, like Brian was saying, it touches that it's going to be the story moving forward, and it explains how they can individually introduce each X-Men in other movies before an actual X-Men movie. It makes sense why now Rogue would be the bad guy in Captain Marvel too, other than her history. But and as far as the Marvel cinematic timeline goes, it makes sense.
Well, I just love the fact that now we know for sure that Spider-Man 3 is Spider-Verse. Like, we know for sure now. Like, there's no doubt about it, like, at all. What they're doing is it's the world, the whole, everything intertwined from the fuck up, and that's where they're going, and we're gonna get Miles. We're gonna get Miles 100%. We're gonna get Gwen. We're gonna get Silk.
Miles.
You guys are so funny about that. I got to give you guys shit about that. Do you guys not realize that that's just a fucking what if series? Like, that's just them going.
We knew that.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like DC. What DC? It's like Marvel trying to do their.
Yeah, that's not a real series. Yeah.
So.
But you guys did make me geek out over Venom, man. That Venom issue was fucking great. And I agree 1,000% that Marvel is killing it right now with art.
Yes.
Destroying it.
So you want to go over some of the Easter eggs that we found in WandaVision?
Well, we kind of did.
I think we did, yeah. I mean,
we did a few of them, yeah.
How we were talking about, yeah.
Yeah, that was perfect. Yeah, that was great.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, guys. Sorry.
No, it's good. I was like,
so the commercial on this one.
Like, let's go deep.
By the way, spoiler alert.
Yeah. For Lagos brand paper towels, that's actually the city they're in or country they're in when Wanda blows up the building and it's the beginning of Civil War. It starts the Sokovia Accords.
Mm.
So that's what that whole commercial was this week, and I like for when you make a mess you didn't mean to.
Yeah, that was perfect. Yep. It immediately brought me back. So much of this is tying back to Avengers Age of Ultron. It's almost like they want you to like check out more. If anything was the Easter eggs, I feel like I'd go there and it makes sense because a lot of that's derived directly from Wanda's backstory. But so many of these little commercials and stuff are traced right back to that.
Yeah, and I like the nod to the Tom King run with Sparky, even though he wasn't green. He still met the same end by eating poisonous stuff. So,
yeah,
it's good stuff.
Yeah, it was a really good episode, and I'm really glad that it's really finding its groove, and everyone's like,
"Oh, I can't wait for next week to talk about."
Man.
Yeah. So, you guys,
it's getting better. I'm still not on the whole WandaVision train. It's
I am
slow. It's definitely getting better, and I'm happy that it's getting better, but I think they turned. I think a lot of the comic book people and the readers and the in-depth people, I think we all really like the Easter eggs and the stuff, and that's why it gets enjoyed. But I don't think a lot of the surface movie fans are enjoying it at all. In fact, I don't think half of them are even
I actually
watching
think
it.
the opposite. I think a lot of
they
people
turned
are
it off.
enjoying it. If you
That's
read,
interesting.
if you look online and you look at people in
Oh,
chat
yeah.
and stuff, people are loving it. And I think it's something that we've talked about before. Is even if you're not a huge, so you could go online right after WandaVision's done, and you just if you just type in WandaVision Easter eggs. You don't even have to bounce between many articles. There's so many articles that are identical that it's everything laid out for you. So you get to read everything that happened. And even if you're not a huge comic guy or person or lady,
That's it, bro. You just hit it on the head. I'm getting text messages and calls from people who I never talk comics to going, "Hey, bro, did you just watch WandaVision? Let's talk about it." From people I never talk about comics.
and it's because of these articles where you get to read every Easter egg. And so now you're getting to read what's going on and you're getting to understand it. So you don't need all of this back history because okay, I read it, I watched it, and now I can read this article about it. And now I can see every Easter egg and it makes sense.
I think the first 2 episodes were just so what did I just watch confusing that they were trying to entice you to come back to episode 3, and then episode 3 just gave you everything.
Some meat.
It's like,
to actually
here you
hold
go,
on.
and this is what's going on, and you're like, all right. And then now they're just gonna start throwing chum in the water every episode to just keep you coming back. That's
I
exactly
could
what the
see-
Quicksilver thing was
Yeah.
chum in the water to keep you coming back.
I could see a little bit of what Solo is saying though, in terms of like we're looking for Easter eggs and stuff, and some people are like, the general fans are gonna be like, what are y'all looking for? What is the connection? Like, this is what I'm watching. I think it wins some people in that way though, so because of its unorthodox style, that you don't have to know all of it to go, oh wow, this is weird, interesting, curious, whatever the case may be. And a lot of that is the buzz and also just the long wait since we've had any content of this kind, Marvel, in a year. But at the same time, I could see how, like, even with the reveal, we're like, oh my god, the multiverse, this and that. And some people who hadn't watched X movies are like, what? So it's a balance. But I do think it's been overwhelmingly more positive than negative in terms of that, And a lot of that is just, I think they're playing the long game. And this time, I like the Marvel's done that before. If you're a casual person, yeah, you can enjoy them at a base level, but they're not going to take your hand and kind of guide you through all of it. Watch the movies, watch the stuff.
Read the books.
There you go.
Yeah, I just know a lot of people that are like,
Exactly,
I quit watching. I watched all the movies. I
Most
really
of my
enjoy the
circle
movies,
is-
but I'm not going to go search the interwebs for Easter eggs and watch this and try. I'm just confused. I have no idea what's going on.
But I mean,
have
you
this
don't,
weird-
you don't
done.
have to go
They
search the
just
interwebs for
tapped
the
out.
Easter eggs. That's why you come to Tales from the Flip Side. We got
Yeah.
all these shows that'll get you informed, as informed as you need to be on everything WandaVision, and tell you what books to look for, what Easter eggs are there, and what could potentially be coming next. That's what we're here for.
Amen.
You don't have to go
And
do the research.
the
We do it
podcast
for you.
channel's
Just
lit.
come check out any show on Tales from the Flip Side, and you're gonna be all set. You're gonna be the most knowledgeable guy at the water cooler.
And on that note, subscribe, hit that button
Look
so
at
you
that
get
connection.
notified.
Look at that connection.
And great show, gentlemen.
Wow. Okay. That was fun.
Well, thank you everybody for coming and checking us out. Make sure to hit that like button, like Brian said. You know what? God, I don't even know what our top 5 list is going to be next week, but hop on and follow us on our Instagram, and at least by Tuesday we're going to know what it is, and we'll have a thumbnail for it. So
Yeah,
and I hope you guys played the drinking game, because there was a lot of good words for this one.
Yeah, check out, like Kyle said, Modern Comic Mayhem on IG. You can find us there, and we'll definitely post the thumbnail for where our next top 5 list will be. And like Brian said, like Ultra said, if you guys had a great time tonight, chat fire as always. 79 people still going strong with us. 81 people still, actually, if you count everything, going strong with us. It's late. We want to thank you guys. Hopefully you're not too hungover tomorrow. From Kyle, enjoy the Super Bowl, and on your way out,
Tomorrow?
that is tomorrow.
Shitty.
enjoy on your way out. Make sure to hit that like button if you had a good time. Make sure to subscribe. Turn the bell on so notifications
when we go
live for any of the great Flipside shows, like the flagship show Tales from the Flipside. Solo Wookie and Marco doing their thing with Pete and the rest of the crew over at Tales from the Dark Side.
Killing it, dude.
Yeah,
Pete
Comic Book Women.
Man, jeez.
Yeah.
Catch Ultra on Wednesdays with the Comic Presser. We've got so much great content on this channel that
Nico's killing it. Nico and the guys are killing it. Oh man,
everyone on this channel is just
speculation roundtable right there, y'all.
Crushing it right now. And like I said, if you don't want to do any looking for Easter eggs for WandaVision, just come on back here or any other channel on her show.
There's no reason to get your comic book information anywhere else but here.
Right. Flipside's got you covered in all aspects of anything
like
comic
a blanket.
Yes, sir. And on that note, thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next week.